I got a recorder that it literally, like, if you don't hit stop and like say, because it's all digital, it's a digital 8-track, and we used to record in my garage, and sometimes the power would go out for 1 split second, and it would just kill it. We'd be like an hour and a half, and we would just do like jam sessions, like metal jam sessions. So we'd have like all these ideas that we got out. We'd be like, that was so good. They'd be like, and I'd be like, guys, it's over.
The file.
Or sometimes I wouldn't hit play and record, so
that's
the record
on you,
button would just be like, dude. And then I just lie to him and be like, hey, let's leave. Let's not listen to this one today.
I didn't really think that was very good, guys.
Honestly, you guys, I think I'm going to delete that one real fast. Hit the buttons. Yeah,
we can do better, gentlemen. We can do better.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you guys for coming. We got in the Pod Lounge today. 2 upcoming comedians from the Detroit scene. Finally getting some fucking comedians on here. We've been working at it for a while.
Yeah, man.
Trying to book you guys on for a long time, it seems like.
He's
been telling me, this guy Floyd, man, we're going to get him on.
Look at you.
doing what I can. You know?
Yeah. So we got Floyd Jones, right?
Floyd Jones,
and
yes.
Skippy
Floyd Jones
Rose.
comedy.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So I was getting it mixed up because you know what a Floyd Rose is.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't even think about that.
No.
So you guys got to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to take her middle name. I'm like, look, I know the paperwork's going to be messy on this one, but just
Floyd Rose Jones.
We're gonna need to get a lawyer on that one.
Yeah, we'd both like to legally change our last name to Tremolo, just to really seal the deal.
Mm-hmm. Are you Italian? No, just
I just love guitars.
That's badass. I didn't know you were so into guitars though, man. That'll make it. Yeah, hell yeah. So what's like you got like a go-to?
I just bought the most beautiful thing I've ever bought is I've got the David Gilmour style all black Strat, the all black Fender Strat with the stained maple neck.
Ooh.
So it's that deep like almost orangish yellow.
Right.
That thing is just she's such a breeze.
Yeah. I rebuilt my it's kind of a long story, but way back in the day I had a house fire that killed my original guitars, and recently I pulled that guitar out, my first Strat, which was a black Strat, and I rebuilt the whole thing to be a David Gilmour style Strat. Nice. I had to redo all the pickup configuration and everything in it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's
nice.
Gotta have it.
Wow.
Yeah. I want to buy an SG though. I do love a good old Gibson SG. I just like how lightweight it is. You can just rip. Like playing on that is just oh my god.
So the one things I don't really have, I have an SG like Junior, like an Epiphone. It's a piece of shit. No. That was the one I rebuilt too. It was my brother's old one, and it like hardly fucking plays. I put like new pickups and shit in it, and like mistake because I'm gonna pull them back out because like the guitar is not worth the pickups that I put in it. So I'm like, no, that thing's got to go.
I actually bought like the garbage, like the Maestro. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Maestro. It's like the less than Epiphone version, which is like the Walmart Gibson. And like some guy had an SG body, so I bought it off of him because I'm gonna paint it like Clapton's The Fool.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm just gonna hang it up. It's gonna be like just a picture piece.
Nice.
That's what this is my first guitar ever, which I also pulled out from that shit. Lived in my dad's garage after that house fire for like 25 years. All those guitars, and I've been kind of like going through them and rebuilding them and salvaging parts in the body and shit. But that was my first guitar ever, and I'm gonna hang it up somewhere here. It's just floating in here right now. But.
I still have my first guitar, but it's not as epic. It's one of those Esteban ones that they sold on QVC. That's my first one. I think I was like 10 or something.
Did you guys watch Metalacalypse?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's that whole bit in there, but I'd stand on that guitar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That Esteban shit, the grandpa's guitars. And all that shit.
God damn it. I was going to wear my fucking Death Clock t-shirt in here.
Nice.
Sometimes when I get drunk, I talk like Squiz Guards.
He
just finds it so pleasant.
Grandpa's guitars.
I'm going back through that show right now. It's so fucking
I heard
funny.
they got a new
Squiz
movie. They're finally going to finish because they've like never finished it, right? Basically, like that show.
Like all the good Adult Swim shows, they just are like, we'll just movie it. Just
I mean, it was so great though.
Such a fucking great show.
Yeah,
I saw those guys. I've seen many concerts. The loudest concert I've ever been at was fucking Death Clock and Mastodon.
Oh, I believe it.
At the Royal Oak Theater, I think, in Detroit up there. You know,
I didn't go to it, but I wish.
Yeah. dude. Like, and we were really close, and probably only like 3 rows back, and it was like the kick drums were physically painful, and like like
those with heart issues need not don't get close.
We've been to a lot of shows, and I was just like, oh my fucking god, dude, and Death Clock's fucking Gene Hoglan on the drums.
I would love to see that.
Which is crazy. Gene Hoglan from Death.
Yeah.
Which is
those
right?
strapping young lad, and I mean he's played in shitloads of fucking metal bands. They call him the Atomic Clock.
Yeah. Death is my favorite
nickname for
That's my favorite chapter of his life.
Okay.
Like, I mean, every drummer that Death had was so good. I mean, Chuck Schuldner's like just the man. You're like, I have no idea what's happening.
What do you mean?
You don't know Death?
Do you listen to Death? I wasn't sure. You were kind of like,
she's like, fuck yeah.
No, I remember me and my buddies used to, because I started playing drums when I was like 13. Because I was like, look, I have to do something that just like rips. I was like, life just sucks. Yeah, you gotta like, once you start high school, I think you really gotta make a big change in your life to get through that. And that big change for me was like drums.
Playing metal.
Yeah, dude. I was like, there's gotta be some way to get out all this aggression and angst of being a teenager.
Hell yeah, man.
That's why I'm super chill. Like, people are like, dude, you're so chill. I'm like, I'm a drummer.
Drums are good for that, dude.
Dude, you're just hitting on stuff, just
the first part of high school is brutal, man. It's just testosterone and acne is fine.
It's like, oh. Yeah. And it's nice.
Shut up, Mom. You don't know anything.
Yeah, and drums is non-visual. So, like, I'm behind stuff. I could get all the acne I wanted behind the drum set. Like, you can't be a lead singer with acne, I never ended up even having acne, but I was like, just in case. Just in case.
Like, I better play the drums. This shit's going to get real.
Yeah.
You still got drums? Still play?
Oh, absolutely, man. Like I said, right now I live with my buddy who I've lived with on and off since like 2017 because I worked with my buddy Kev, and then he was like, hey, you should come party with me and my roommate Steve. And I was like, oh yeah, for sure, let's just chill. We went out to the beach. We're playing volleyball, like metalheads do. And
after Top Gun style.
And we started talking about like music, and he's like, yeah, I play guitar. And I was like, well, I live in an apartment, but I have my drums over there. And he was like, you should bring your drums to my house because I've never jammed with anybody.
Oh, yeah.
So I literally brought my drums. We went back to my house, still like wet from the beach, ran in my apartment, grabbed my drums out, and I set them up at his house.
Nice.
And we've been like recording music since 2017.
Hell yeah, man.
I was the first person he played drums with, and then my buddy Alan Cassidy's the drummer of Black Dahlia Murder. So that was the second person he ever played drums with. Like,
nice.
It was insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about that. I thought you had mentioned that one time that your buddy is playing for Black Dahlia. So is he like fully in everything doing the?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was at an event. Him and his wife do like burlesque like concerts with like metal bands and stuff. I don't know if you ever heard of like Temple of the Fuzz Witch.
Okay. No, what'd you say?
Goth Prom was the event that we just went to. Yeah.
We used to go over there to an art show called the Dirty Show. Did you guys ever similar to that?
I've never been.
And all that shit. She was in it. Susan was in it probably like 3 years in a row.
Oh,
we used to go, having her art in there. So we used to go over there every year or something.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fun. I have that T-shirt, but I don't fit in it anymore.
Dude, that's how dirty it gets. I mean, that's
when you cut it up, put it on a jean jacket, and go real punk with it.
Just wear like a tube top, man. Just show that happy trail, dude.
Hey, the men's fashion's getting like that. Those hoochie shorts are coming back. I'm here for it.
Oh yeah,
tube top shirt.
I saw a lot of male belly buttons last night. And look, hey man, live your life. I'm not opposed to anybody's belly buttons, man.
I had like the strongest urge to give them raspberries, and I'm like, no, that's how you get punched in the head.
I just want to put my finger on one, like just.
Hey, you're asking for it, dude. You're getting that fucking raspberry. I think that's a social contract. Like if you're wearing a belly shirt, you can't complain if somebody's gonna drop a raspberry on you.
Drop a raspberry. Hey, guy, don't excuse me. I gotta pick up my phone. It's just like, what? Did you just raspberry me?
Just 1 second.
Shouldn't have been so open. Yeah, I don't know. Guard your midsection.
At least half of them would giggle involuntarily and be mad about it. Be like, what? No, get out.
Oh my God, stop, please. Oh my God. But don't stop.
Doing belly shots and shit.
Yeah.
And going cut off
some fuzzy navels.
That shit back.
Indeed. We should just start bringing that shit back, dude. We'll set that trend, bro.
No,
I feel like it is the whole 80s thing making the comeback now, which I feel like is all Stranger Things. I feel like it's all Stranger Things. Everybody's like doing the 80s thing.
In music, though, it's really a lot of 90s is really, I mean, that's how there's always that 30-year spread in music. And now, like, shit from the 90s, like industrial style and like hard rap from the early 90s and shit, that sort of production style is all fucking coming way back into favor now and shit.
Well, I think the 90s was like so great because it was like the peak, like people didn't really give a shit. Like in the 90s, it was kind of just like, yeah, just make something and we'll just see if this works. Like throw it at the wall.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's like the 80s was so formulaic and the 70s was so formulaic. Like even if you look at like fashion and stuff, like sometimes I'll look at how big my pants are and I'm like, oh, I'm so clearly a 90s kid. Like, these pants, I just can't wear skinny jeans. Yeah, exactly. Like she was calling me out one day. She was like, why are your pants so big? And I was like, I don't know, because I was an elementary school kid in the 90s. Like,
you wearing that starter jacket?
Yeah.
Starter jackets.
Everybody looked like a comic book character. Like you would just wear stuff like people like Seth Green and Can't Hardly Wait, where he's got the goggles on his head. Like, why do you have goggles?
Dude, I knew a guy who used to roll around wearing a life vest. He's like, a punk rock kid, like,
What?
Dude, had this green life vest and shit, dude.
That's amazing.
On it. Did he turn into a battle?
Yes.
I hope so, man. That's seriously what it was. Skater dude in Grand Haven, like that whole scene was like ultra skater guy,
Just Ted Kennedy's patch, just right over where the Red Cross is.
I was so up my own ass as like a kid with all the punk rock stuff. I beat up kids that listen to Hawthorne Heights because it wasn't hard enough, like I'm so much better than you. Like
fucking posers.
Yeah, fucking posers. Then you watch SLC Punk and you're like, I am the poser. It is me.
Like anarchy shit drawn everywhere.
Oh, everywhere.
Anarchy sticker.
No, it was classic, man. I miss thinking I needed to rebel.
Yeah, right.
It's like you realize you're like, oh, that shit's so weak.
Yeah,
it's so weak.
Yeah, we were catching some fucking Nine Inch Nails last night, and which they're one of my favorite things ever. But like the early Nine Inch Nails shit, like it was just coming on, and we were like, man, these lyrics are so cheesy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
shit, it's like it was so dark at the time, and now it's just like, oh god.
I mean, dude, it had
Well,
like a
because
whole,
it became a cliche from them, right? So
Yeah,
it's like those
yeah.
are the first time you heard those.
Yeah.
They weren't tropes at the time,
Right,
and then
right.
they became tropes.
I mean, the first Ministry album is terrible.
Yeah,
Dude, I mean, that one where it's like a rose on the cover, and I was like, what is this? Like, dude, sometimes you just need to do hard drugs. Like, if Jorgensen would have kept on that, like, I would have been so disappointed. I just saw them, I went to San Diego last April, because I was like, the world's gonna end soon. I gotta go
to San Diego.
I gotta go to San Diego before that drowns. So I literally like quit my job in February, and in April I went out and just stayed on my uncle's couch for a month and just did stand-up shows.
Nice.
But the House of Blues was like right by where the Gaslamp district is, where all the shows are. So I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm going to see some concerts
Love
while
a
I'm
House
down
of
here.
Blues,
for sure.
Dude, and they had Ministry tickets. So I ended up seeing Corrosion of Conformity.
Nice.
And then it was
man.
Melvins.
Oh,
and then it was
yeah.
Ministry.
Wow.
And it was legit. And it was crazy because it was like sold out online, but it was like a rescheduled 2020 show.
Oh, yeah.
So like at first the headline or the whole like the bands were supposed to be totally different, but then I kept hearing murmurs of people being like, no, now Melvins is going to be there. And I was like, I gotta see this show.
That's
I
the
have
draw.
to see this show.
Yeah. I've seen Melvins quite a few times. Seen Corrosion of Conformity probably twice.
They
I've
ripped.
never seen Ministry. And I'm not like a huge Ministry guy, so it's not ever been on my list or whatever. But yeah.
Dude, it's a great show.
Yeah,
it's a great show.
Melvins always plays.
I've never
fucking
seen
Grand
Ministry.
Rapids
I've
here.
seen Melvins quite a few times. But
Yeah. I caught Melvins like they're always opening for Tool through the years, and Tool's my favorite band. So like I've seen Melvins like 6 times without even wanting to.
Nice.
I want to say I saw them at some like random show in Lansing when I lived in Lansing, just like a random, because nobody goes through Lansing purposely. It's like on your way to something,
I got
or
lost.
or like they're just like, let's just take a break, and then they'll just do a little shit gig in Lansing.
Indeed.
Like, I've seen Flaming Lips in Lansing.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god, yeah, because they got this like little like festival called Common Ground, and like again, it's all these pass-through shows, and so I have no idea how they get such big acts, but it's like literally, I was like from here to like I don't know, how long is that? Like 20 feet away from here, 20 feet away. Like I saw Violent Femmes and like Flaming Lips, but they still did the full ball like get up like they do at every like Flaming Lips concert where he gets inside the ball and tries to crowd surf. But there was maybe only like 100 people watching. So it was a real team effort.
A lot of pomp and circumstance for a 100-person audience.
Oh, I loved it.
The fuck do they call those things? A Zorb Ball?
Zorbs?
Yeah.
Zorbs.
Ball
I think it's a Zorb.
Peter Gabriel does that too. At
Really?
his show or whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah.
now I want
I've
to
only
see.
seen one concert in Lansing. You were probably there. It was Jimmy Eat World, but it was at like the Breslin Center or somewhere.
okay.
Or maybe some little offshoot gym, but it was really awkward because
Yeah,
it was just
Breslin.
like,
Yeah.
it was
Probably.
like
Breslin Center's
auditorium
the-
on the hardwood, just with like shitty folding chairs,
right,
basically.
right.
Just, like,
Yeah.
seated in place watching.
That's the
Jimmy.
basketball thing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just Breslin.
I saw Tool at the Breslin Center. Actually.
Really?
Because not to keep talking about it, but I've seen Tool
Keep
like
talking
20
about
fucking
him, dude.
times, dude. So like,
I love
that's,
Tool,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
I love Tool. So like, I went and saw Tool at the Palace back in like 08, and then my favorite show I ever saw them was Voodoo Fest in 2016.
Nice, nice.
Because that was just like amazing. You're
Yeah.
clearly like obliterated.
Yeah.
Like I was just like off. And it was funny too because I went in with like a very, hey guys, I'm gonna like take it easy. And legitimately, all three of the people I was with just that was the reaction. They're like, "Oh my god,
Okay.
you're so cute!" And like, the first day, like 3 hours in, I'm like, "Hey, so how much of this did you bring? And can we splitsies?" Okay, like, I didn't think I was gonna want to be this wasted, but now I am. And so,
Now you're
I
on
want to take it
mushrooms.
easy,
And
guys. 20 minutes later, you're just
Yeah.
like, fucking made it.
my eyeballs are just giant. I'm like, oh.
Looking like an anime character.
Yeah. No, literally, there was a guy, because it was Halloween weekend, and there was a guy in front of us dressed like Jesus Christ. So they're like, Jesus Christ, why don't you come? And he's like, I know. You know. And dude, it was the greatest time.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Puscifer was there too.
Oh hell yeah!
yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
like Maynard just really did a double book. He was like,
He's doing a few of those this year. I mean, it makes sense. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
do them different nights. You know,
Yep,
like Puscifer will play one night, and then
Yeah.
no, that's dope. You know, we were just talking about. There's a new Puscifer record came out yesterday. It's like the remix
Oh.
record.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, but it's like a bunch of Trent Reznor remixes.
Nice.
Justin Chancellor from Tool does a remix.
Really?
So it's the whole. They always do that. They put out the one record, then like a year later they do like the remix record. So
You
it's
ever
fun.
listen to the Nine Inch Nails album, Fixed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I had never heard Broken.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Isn't that your story? You got the same. No, his is sorry to interrupt you, but his is the same thing with further down the spiral, where he didn't hear the original,
Yeah.
and just had the remix, and it's like,
Yeah,
I was
'cause-
like 12 years old. You remember that? I think it was B&G or whatever, one of those shitty music catalogs.
Biscuits
with
and
the sign
Gravy.
of- yeah.
Biscuits and Gravy. That's
Yeah,
what they
BMG, whatever the hell it was. But it's like 10 cents an album and it's just dog shit on there. And I'd only like heard a couple Nine Inch Nails tunes, so I get like further down the spiral.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
some bullshit remix. That was my introduction.
he's
So
like,
it's
these guys are terrible. It took him like 20 years of me going, dude, Nine Inch Nails is sweet, dude. What are you talking about?
He's like, Zub's all over the place, dude. Well, my buddy gave me like a spiral of CDs. He was like, hey, I'm cleaning out my car. I don't want these anymore. I'm 36 now. And I was like, I get it. He just hit a point where he was like, these CDs are somebody I used to be. And it was like, he Godia'd these CDs. And so he gave it to me. And on the top, it was the end. And I was like, okay. And I threw it in my car, being like, let's get this 9 Inch Nails on. It was like, and it was like micro sampled and chopped. And I was like, what the fuck am I listening to right now? But it ripped. And then like, now I can't listen to the fixed version because the broken version's so much sicker.
yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's good shit. Yeah, I was a late adopter in Nine Inch Nails too. I won't lie. I got into him a little later than some of my peers.
Dude,
Likewise.
I'm a black dude. I got everything late.
Well, no, it's just because, like, you know, sometimes, you know, you'll meet somebody that likes a band and you're like, I don't care what that band sounds like, but fuck that guy and fuck that band. Like, and so Nine Inch Nails was that for me. There was like this douchebag in high school. I'm like, I don't fucking know what they, but I'm going to refuse to listen. But then when I got older, I think I saw them at, was it Voodoo Fest or like maybe it was Bonnaroo or something like that, but like I saw them live and I'm like, oh well,
it's
this
one of the
is
best live
a
albums
thing
ever.
now.
Reznor's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I got into him because I bought Downward Spiral from a pawn shop. I used to like all throughout the early 90s. I mean, my mom just listened to like hip hop and shit, you know, random black mom in Detroit. She's not going to be like, hey, you want to listen to Genesis? Like, that's just not what the fuck she was doing.
Invisible touch and bumps.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, if you're not listening to Hall & Oates, what are you doing? And so, like, MTV came out with a channel. I don't know if you remember MTV
Yeah, I do.
MTV when they started making those channels that were just music videos 24/7.
Yeah, because they quit playing videos on MTV.
Exactly. They were like, hey guys, what are we going to do with these videos? and I started watching MTVX because, I mean, I was just a crazy little kid with a dysfunctional life. Where do you go with that? Grunge, metal, punk. Like, that's all the stuff that feels right.
Yeah.
And dude, I got into that and I became a metalhead like overnight at the tender age of 11.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
I feel like you tend to, I mean, at least personally, but I think it's probably true for other people. It's like you tend to be drawn to, like, you want the music to make you feel how you want to feel, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's like, because I'll listen to like rap music, like, how can you listen to misogynist shit? It's like, no. I'm not a woman in the sun. I'm like the dude fucking the bitches, right? I'm that fuck bitch energy. That's what I want to feel like.
I'm the big pimp. Okay?
I'm the dude. I'm the pimp.
Jay-Z, okay?
Okay.
I get to smack a hoe.
I am the smacking.
I'm J-A through Z, okay? I'm all of the letters.
When the ass smacks, it smacks for thee.
Yeah.
So is it all right? This is the most ignorant question. I love me some old school rap, but I'm like a mid '90s, you know, Dre, Snoop, Wu-Tang, that kind of shit. Like, are people still doing the misogynistic stuff, or is that like?
It's more alive and well than ever.
Yeah.
But it's like masked with like, hey man, my dreadlocks are purple, so I mean, I slap hoes on a feminist level. You know? It's because I myself feel so in tune to the. It's like, what are you talking
Well,
about?
it's the flip side too. Is all the lady rappers are all fucking just like
Exactly.
I mean, it's all just hardcore sex shit and everything.
Oh yeah.
These pussies are wet ass. Okay,
Yeah.
like you can't have
Macaroni
wet
in a
and
pot.
ass. Like, yeah, who would have thought like a hit song would have ass and pussy in it and be sang by a woman?
Right.
Like,
And, like,
that's insane.
they're all literally naked on their record covers and shit.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't do a lot for me because I like, at least like in the back in the day of like Dre and shit, a lot of it, like, but there's a undercurrent of comedy to all that. And like, so that's just not really there anymore. You know, so.
It's the softer, gentler
She's just like,
side
she's
of
shaking her head
smacking
at
a
me.
hoe.
Oh, she knows better than these, but I mean, she's a lady. She knows what's up.
But like I said, to me, when I listen to music, I put myself in the main character space. Like, I am like the central character in this music video, kind of a thing. Like,
Yeah, that's me when the song's about being sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm definitely the main character in Taking Back Sunday's Cute without the E. Like, yeah, they're like, oh, that's just sad, dude.
sad,
yeah, dude, when I listen to Saves the Day's song Freakish, you know, I know that's me. It's talking about how I'm a loser.
no, but I think that's why I've always been into punk and rap, because they both just are like, fuck you energy. So,
Well, it's interesting. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. Did you guys ever catch that documentary about Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine?
No, I didn't watch that yet.
what's it called?
The Innovators, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
really about the
HBO, yeah.
sale of Dre beats and that whole thing. But
Oh, okay.
it goes through, and a lot of it's about Jimmy Iovine, and I don't want to go too deep on who that guy is or whatever, but midway through his career when he started Interscope, his whole thing was, I'm going to produce the producers. And I'm talking about it because his two big first producers that were like his guys were Dr. Dre and Trent Reznor. And it's like, you kind of think about like those guys being very apart in a way on the musical scale. But then when you really think about it, and when you get the history,
Their production quality, because they're both
Yeah.
they're kind of obsessives. I know that much about Trent Reznor, right?
Yeah.
He takes forever, right, to put out an album each time.
yeah, and it's
Right.
just, you just think about like, well, but then there's this other thing about that it's both this like crazy rebellious thing that the both of them were sort of on the fringe of it being like, you know, like neither, I mean, both of those things were very like, you know, you got the guy coming from NWA, you got this other guy who's fucking screaming God is dead on stage and shit. Like, these are like fringe things. And Jimmy Iovine's like, I want both of these guys to be my top guys, you know, starting Interscope. So it's just kind of wild.
Heck yeah.
Like,
I didn't know that.
like,
Yeah.
I think everything comes with taking chances. I think that's always going to be the greatest reward, because the reason you're taking the chance is because like nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because I think it comes out of necessity of being like, oh, nobody's ever going to do this. So like, that's why I started making like rap shit because I was like, rap sucks so bad.
For real,
I was like,
yeah,
I can't even listen to rap songs that entertain me anymore. So now I have to make my own rap music to listen to so I can still feel like something's good.
Yeah.
Ingenuity born out of necessity, as they say.
Yeah, it's brutal.
I feel like it's kind of like the same though with comedy too. You just kind of have to go for broke sometimes, because sometimes you'll write a joke and you're like, no one's gonna this I feel like the points here are way too disconnected for anybody to get, and then you just go up, and sometimes that's the biggest laugh, sometimes the biggest jumps over the pond, to get the understanding.
I was trusting that people aren't stupid either, like, well,
Floyd tells me all the time he says I overestimate the intelligence of the audience.
Spark that one right there, dude. That's ready to go. Is there a lighter down here?
I do not have one.
I
always tell her with comedy, I'm like, you can't trust, because the one thing is like comedians. I think it's the same with musicians too. Like, I can't exactly trust a musician's opinion on a lot of things because we all are so creative in so many different ways. Oh, appreciate it. That it's like, if I take your opinion too seriously of it, I'm gonna not make what I'm trying to create in the first place.
Right.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many. Look, you only need one cook in the kitchen, and it's grandma. Okay, why is anybody else even in the kitchen? And I think comedy is like that. Like, I'm the one cook. Like
comedy is definitely like that. I think. You
just have to kind of like tunnel vision.
Unless you're like, if you're creating, like if you're in a writer's room and you're trying to write a script or something, like then it can be more collaborative.
Well, sometimes like we'll do like I'll just be like writing and like we'll write next to each other, and then I'll just be like, "What do you think of this?" And then he'll say something inevitably more horrible as a tag. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, dude, the funny thing is, like, sometimes we'll be talking about stuff and she'll be like, hey, can you like appraise this and like kind of give me your opinion on this? And she's like, but you don't ask my opinion on things. And I'm like, because I stay so tunnel vision on what I want to say. It's not a hit to her because she's hilarious. She gets way more bookings than me. Definitely not a fan. You guys should
just
be
be prettier.
I can be a beautiful white woman too. Okay, it's 2023. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
But
in a little bit.
No, but and because it's one of those things where
That's a match straight too.
I just oh, that's sick. I like the frog.
He's our mascot.
I was about to say, I've seen this frog
Frog's
before.
a lot. He's been around for many, many years.
Because I don't think sometimes there's nothing wrong with being like, no, this is exactly what I need to be.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why comedy sucks now is everybody's making comedy like fan fiction. Everybody's like, oh, what do you guys want to hear me say? And then it's like, no, we're just an audience. You're supposed to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
right?
I think it went through that for a while, but it seems like now, like, I mean, like the heavy hitters in comedy, like, don't give a fuck anymore,
Yeah, although sometimes I've seen this trend where it's like I like jokes from whatever perspective as long as they're funny, but then sometimes it's just like they'll break their comedy set to just do this like soapbox dialogue about their philosophies.
I've been bitching about that too, which is like, I was talking about Chris Rock's latest special. We get into it because I'm like, you're not doing comedy anymore. You're just doing a fucking one-man show that's like about your philosophy. I'm like, write a book and then do your comedy.
And he wasn't even as bad as like, I mean, I know what you're talking about in that special, but that didn't even get as bad as some of them. Like,
I do not co-sign on any of this. Chris Rock is my favorite comedian ever. Dude,
did you watch the latest?
Selective Outrage?
Did you like it?
I mean, because I love the fact Chris Rock's always been really good about calling out everybody in the.
You could set it.
I'll hit it one more time. For Chris Rock. So for all the disrespect, it's Chris Rock as Spock on Star Trek.
Disrespect.
We're on an alien planet, motherfucker.
Beam me the fuck up, Scotty, beam me up. He says it 16 times.
He's the king of repetition. He's the king of, did you get this?
Gotta drive that point home.
He does do that repetition thing like crazy.
But sometimes you do get bigger laughs on the second, third time you say something.
He's playing to big audiences too, so you have to like let it like make sure you got the point that the punchline's going to be about. So you have to say that like 3 times to make sure people heard that. So I get it.
I've thought about if like audiences aren't paying attention, I'll just like get out like a little bunny and be like, look at the bunny. Look at the bunny. And then, all right, we're together.
I'd throw the bunny at the wall and be like, "You guys listening now? You guys listening?"
You pull out a fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you guys want another bunny to die? I pull out a cage with 3 bunnies in it. You better fucking listen and laugh.
Well, and these are the different styles of comedians, right?
Like I said, Floyd Jones Comedy on Instagram. Yeah, definitely fuck with me. I got a bunny video pinned to a wall.
Well, now we need to make that. We'll make the bunny video
should,
now.
I'm not gonna do that. PETA just comes after me. I blow up overnight. All it took was one dead bunny. Now I'm a millionaire, baby.
I want to get on the PETA's bad side, man. Those guys fucking play for keeps, dude.
Dude, hey man, if they make me my first mill though, I'll take it.
Right.
I'll retire, dude. I'll get canceled as a millionaire.
Take it. We'll just become ghostwriters.
Laughing
Man.
all the way to the bank.
Oh,
But the
look at
whole,
me
like-
on my Morgan Wallen shit.
The whole thing about trying to do like I'm up here talking about some topic or thing, like going for the claps instead of the laughs almost, It's
Yes.
just like going for the admiration and approval of everybody.
Yeah.
Like, let's tag on to the big topic of the day.
It's like a
Which-
virtue signal thing instead
Which-
of like be funny.
Yeah, well, and also because I think the reason, I don't know, I think the most virtuistic reason why you do comedy is to make people that aren't having the best day not have a great day because they're laughing at your stuff. So like trying to remind people of like the reality in not a funny way. It's just
Right.
like they want to be able to deal with their problems, not like be
Yeah.
reminded.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like the
Absolutely.
one last escape, and it's like the last bastion where you can be a little bit fucking off color, and as long as it's,
Yeah.
in good taste and just for fun, like just fucking make people laugh. And chill
Well, really,
out,
Right.
it's a peek at like it's like if somebody like lifted up their shirt and showed you like their fat roll. Like, like it's the vulnerable side of like humans. Because I always tell people, I go, look, you have a filter. We all know this. We've all just thought something and been like, what the fuck was that? we've all had that moment where we're like, oh, look, I'm not saying I would push this old guy down this hill, but if
if I did, it'd
somebody
be
pushed
hilarious.
this old guy down this hill,
I wouldn't not laugh.
I'd be like, whoa, that was kind of exciting. Again, don't push like
Especially for him.
I'm not condoning pushing it. I mean, yeah, he might get up and be like, "Woo, best time of my life." You don't know what life's gonna be. People act like he,
that popped my hip back in.
yeah. Oh my
Right?
God, you fixed me.
Eureka! And then stir.
But everybody listening was probably like, "That old guy's a victim." No, dude, I just made that old guy's life. He'd be like, I haven't lived like that since Eleanor was here.
I don't know
Yeah.
about that. I think you want to keep working on that. You want to work on that one a while.
No, I'm never going to say that to people. Dude, nowadays somebody would do that and be like, Floyd Jones told me to do it. Like, you stupid fuck.
I mean, I tell people to drown their children on stage.
Yeah.
I give them instructions.
I give no advice. I literally have a joke where I'm like, no, because people misconstrue things so fast. Like, you could be like, oh, yeah, yeah, your wife, I noticed I didn't really like her shoes. And he'd be like, yeah, I divorced her. And you're like, you did what? He's like, you said that thing about the shoes. I was picking up what you were putting down.
Yeah, I'm
It's
more
like,
of a Nike man, actually.
Yeah, I left my family behind. Not what I was saying. Not what I was saying at all, dude.
I thought Dave Chappelle's latest couple specials were particularly egregious with that fucking like soapboxy. Just
Yeah.
like, it was
closer,
like 10 minutes. I'm not saying there's no jokes or anything, but it's like 10 minutes of him fucking talking about shit before he gets to like one joke.
Oh yeah.
So
And
I
I'm
would
like,
fast forward a little bit and then just.
Yeah.
No, the closer. My buddy, look, I mean, Alan won't care if I said that, but Alan went and saw him do that at the Fillmore in Detroit, and he fully was like, yeah, I fell asleep.
Yeah.
He was like, I just
brutal,
fully
yeah.
fell asleep watching this show. He's like, because he's like, he was saying absolutely nothing. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't making.
Being
that's why I
funny.
like comedy is you not expecting joy. The
Yeah,
best part is I just start saying things, and then you go, oh, what? Oh no! And I say terrible things. So when people laugh
Yeah.
at my comedy, it's coming from a place of truth.
Yeah.
Because they're like,
Yeah.
I don't even want to be
You don't see
here.
it coming. Yeah.
Dude, like I talk, I got a joke where I go, look, if I had a time machine, I hate when people ask you, if you had a time machine, would you go back and kill baby Hitler? And I'm like, I would never kill baby Hitler, but I'd take Casey Anthony back with me, and I'd be like, hey, he's in there. Like, we'll just see what happens and just see if she
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, see if she makes up for the first one. Just something simple like that.
Right.
Because people do laugh at that. Because now I'm kind of making Casey Anthony a hero in this weird anti-World War II story. And I just like fucking with people's brains. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So how long have you guys been doing the comedy thing for?
I tried doing it like 6 years ago. Like almost 7 years ago now, like in 2016. But I became a machinist that worked from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So that like eliminated my nightlife immediately.
Right. Brutal.
So I did like a total of 10 shows. Loved it. Went to a job, and I forever for 6 years I just put jokes on my phones. So I have like 5 phones throughout time that are just layered in hundreds and hundreds of jokes that I thought about.
Breaking out the BlackBerry from '97.
Yeah, because it like triggered something for sure, and I started writing jokes out, and I just kept writing. So now I'm just like backlogging a bunch of shit.
Like, bro, I got a year of gold on that Nokia. Yeah.
But I started back up in 2021. The end of 2020, when people were like, "We'll go outside."
Actually getting out.
People
Hitting
started
open
doing
mics
little
and
shows,
shit.
and then, but I really didn't start again until like after the Capitol. Honestly, I want to say it was like May 2021. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this every single week, and just so 2 years now.
Damn. Yeah, right on.
I don't like say. Well, so like I've only been doing like stand up since last August. But before that, I was doing like circus performing and like improv, and I had written for a few sketch shows. So it was more just like about getting a belief in myself that like I wouldn't.
Yeah, she
suck.
spins fire. She spins fire.
But that's the whole thing. So with fire performing, no one thinks they can do it, right? And so literally anything you do, even if it's simple, they're like, right?
Yeah.
But in comedy, you could be like, this took me months.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm funny too, though.
Yes, it's the exact opposite. Everybody thinks they can do it, including us.
Everybody. Well, no, that's the funny thing. Comedy is everybody's been the funniest person.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I like about comedy too. It's the great equalizer, because no matter how unfunny you are on a regular basis, everybody's gotten a laugh out of somebody.
Yeah.
You know,
True. So true.
Speak for yourselves. I don't know. There's a few and far between for me.
Look, dude, look, just because we're faking it, we're trying to make you feel better. Come on, get in on this, okay?
Just wait. I'm sure we'll hear some news later on.
I'll regale you with some glorious comedy in a little bit here for sure.
Ooh, oh no.
So what was the first time up on stage? Like, I'm always curious about like that, because we've always thought about doing it, talked about it a handful of times. Like, oh, let's go and hit an open mic. Never had the stones to do it so far, but like the very first time, what's going through your mind when you're up there?
So I have like 2 first times, but because of that, so like my first time, I had no prepared material or anything like that. It was literally like I got drunk at an open mic bar, and I was just like, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. You know,
She was that guy. I could do this.
No, I was
this.
but right, but then I like kind of like did notes in my thing, but then like also all the other open mic comedians were like trying to get me drunker, because they're like, let's see this, and like like my friend had to be like, dude, like they're sabotaging you right now. I don't know if you know that, like you can do this. And I got up, and to me, it was awful. Like somebody has a tape, and I'm like, But you know what? I didn't get booed. It wasn't like a huge thing. So to me, it's like bombing that first time, almost purposely nosedive kind of your first time.
Yeah.
So you can feel how it feels. Because then my second time, actually, it went pretty all right. And I still remember the exact woman that laughed at my first joke that I actually prepared. Like when I see her, I'm like, you don't know this, but you're an angel to me. Thank you.
No, I got picked on Ann Arbor. Like I did the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase open mic in 2016, and that was kind of hilarious because like my mom and my little sister were right there, and I was talking about like Hitler and Facebook. Talked about Hitler, Facebook, why Indians don't have their own restaurant, like Native Americans, because of all the things, the mix-ups with like reservations, redskin potatoes. There'd be a lot of things that they were like, look, guys, this is not good.
That writes itself for a second.
Exactly. But you know, I was young, and I was like, dude, I did a Facebook Hitler joke for like 2 minutes, just slaughtering people like loving their mom. It's about how you can't edit. Like you can edit things on Facebook, but people still have typos. It's about how stupid people look on the internet. Because you look like morons. People, stop using the internet. Just right now, you all look so dumb. It's terrible. Don't tell people you ate ramen noodles. So
None of you
take a
deserve the
picture
internet.
of it like
Unless
lunch.
they're rap snacks.
Picture of lunch
We did half
with like
an episode on
with like
ramen noodles last
the
week.
tongue out. Yeah, no. But I just talk about how, you know, I had a post and it was like, I love my mom so much. Happy Mother's Day. And then I edit the post after I get all the likes and the comments. And then I make it say, like, maybe Hitler had it right. Let's go for round 2. And I really did this. And somebody shared the post, and she immediately, like, deleted her whole profile after this. I might have torn somebody's life apart with, like, and people saw the joke after I did the joke.
Yeah, she was a kindergarten teacher. She is no
That is
longer employed.
amazing.
Just be like, I got hacked by Kanye.
Yeah, exactly. In 2016, only a few people knew that was
It was
true.
easy.
Yeah. People were like, can you believe Kanye? I'm like, yeah, the slavery was a choice
Yes, I
guy.
can.
Yeah, I think I can believe Kanye.
The insane person? Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, he did this.
He ain't been
Wow,
right
that
since his
checks
mama
out.
died. That is like so true with that guy.
Oh, man, for real.
Like,
it's all been downhill since then.
Look, once he was just holding Hennessy in every picture, like you're like, nobody was doing this before. There's no other picture. There's no picture of Barack Obama on the red carpet with a bottle of Hennessy and Amber Rose. There's a
It'd
reason.
be a lot cooler if there
It
were.
would be, yeah, exactly. And we fell.
He does set the trends.
Yeah. No, I got too drunk.
Let me be clear. That's the worst Obama ever. I got to stop doing impressions. This guy.
Oh, keep doing Obama.
No, dude, I do terrible impressions all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Don't.
You should just switch it up and just start doing nothing but impressions as a comedian. You know, like, I'm going to try something new here tonight, guys.
Dude, I mean, I like making things. Like my funniest concept that I don't do a lot, but I like to think of God as like a white guy that says nigga a lot. Because like, how would you feel if you like got to heaven and you were like, oh my God, you're God. And he's like,
It's,
nigga,
like,
you know what it
super
is. And you're like, whoa, okay. Okay, maybe I'm not seeing something. I don't know. Who are
God's
your
just trying
parents?
to be cool, you know?
God's like cornrows. God looks like riffraff. And you're just like,
God, can we cool it on the hard R with that a little bit?
He's like, what? You're all my children.
He's like, I made this shit up, bro. I've been saying all that shit.
He's wearing the goggles like the kid we were just talking about.
Yeah, he's got the Seth Green
the
goggles
Seth Green
on.
goggles and
Can't
shit. You're
hardly
like, bro,
wait style.
the Jinkos and shit. God, you're really
See, but yeah, how would you feel like if you got to heaven and it just looked like Detroit? You were like, wait a second, this is normal as fuck. What? There's traffic. This place sucks. There's babies too. Oh, they don't even fly. So you run them over with the traffic.
Yeah.
I've said enough.
And everywhere 311's just softly playing in the background. You're like, why, dear God, why?
I think I'm one of the 6 311 fans in the world. I'm not gonna lie. It's
Yeah,
a
they're
soft
just
spot
like-
for those guys.
No, there's approximately 311 fans worldwide. That's what they got their name from.
Yeah, they make sure it stays that way if anybody
fluctuates.
else starts liking them.
They don't know.
I might have saw 311 live once too. Not gonna lie.
I
Dude, I wish
definitely
I was
have.
Festival, I think.
I wish I would
It
have.
goes
Dude.
at Warp Tour maybe.
I went through a deep 311 phase.
Indeed,
dude.
man.
Dude,
Gotta
that
have
self-titled
it. They're
album was
badass.
all mixed up
Yeah.
on it. Don't get me started.
That was a huge record.
You
That was a
start
huge
that for breakfast, your day's good. You start your day off listening to All Mixed Up, no matter how mixed up your day gets, you got a soundtrack. Like, you're going to be thinking of the song, you're like, just like he said.
True. I feel like Sublime's kind of like that too.
Oh,
you know?
100% just
Smoke 2 joints in the morning.
Doo-doo.
I can afford to smoke 2 joints. If it was called Smoke 3 Joints, a lot of people wouldn't have been able to listen to it. They'd be like, this song's outrageous, dude. Honestly, I think
That's one too many.
one too many joints, okay? It is 1992.
You're good with
Chill the
2,
fuck
but
out. Yeah.
it's back with swag weed. You know, it's like,
Anywhere you can match. You're like, dude, you bring a joint, I bring a joint. We don't know a third person.
I got 5 on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to be corny, like specific.
Absolutely.
That's why I've always wanted to go to a Jimmy Buffett concert because the shit show that must be.
Oh yeah, the people watching alone. You know.
Oh, yeah.
I really
Hawaiian
can't fucking stand
shirts as far as the eye can see.
Right.
Jimmy Buffett concert would be sick, though. Just
Right.
to have nobody bump into you at all.
No way.
Oh,
Because you know
zero.
they're just like this. There's like just
You've been getting looks up in there.
really just trying to lock it down, just trying to make sure they're good. Oh yeah, no. If I walked into a Jimmy Buffett concert, they'd be like, "Is Jimmy Buffett still on today?" The joke is I'm black. So, but yeah, like it's audio
Black
only. I
guy
have to
in
let
a
them know.
Spawn T-shirt.
The whole time they're listening to me, dude, a Spawn hockey jersey. I
It is
got
a
this.
jersey, isn't it?
Dude, I got this because my buddy was trying to give it back to a guy who gave it to him. Like all of my jam buddies.
Oh, that's a dope jersey.
My buddy, I walked into my buddy's house and there's just this jersey on his like kitchen table.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck, Brooks? Is this yours? And he was like, no. Steve brought it over because he's giving it back to Potter. Potter gave it to him and he doesn't like it. And I was like, well, I'm fucking taking it. I'm taking it.
Just
What are you talking-
re-gifting
This
the
is a-
Spawn.
Yeah,
jersey
it's a
over
take
and
back now. I was like, and he's a black comic book character. This
Yeah.
is mine.
Now you're rocking it like every
Yeah.
day.
Dude, it's my on stage. Like, dude,
Oh, for real?
I like the hockey jersey because it's like, I want it to be about violence. On stage, like we were talking about, dude, on stage isn't real. Hockey players don't just tackle people and punch them in the face in real life. But when they get in the rink, they get fucking violent.
So when you guys are up there, is it like, with everybody being so fucking sensitive nowadays, is there any hesitation, or are you just like, fuck it, I'm going for it material wise?
It's not so much I'm thinking about sensitivity to subjects so much as like what they're gonna all like laugh at. So like I'll just kind of look at the audience and like be like, I don't know, maybe they don't want to hear the whole like pussy shaving joke next to the dead baby joke next to the maybe they need some like hoo-has in between, you know, like I'll just remix it a little bit maybe, but I don't think you care very much.
No, I don't care.
No, I don't think you care at all.
You got to think, I mean, I had years to think about comedy and just watch comedy evolve or devolve to what it's become. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to give this a go. Especially because people don't take certain chances that like I know everybody's just fully craving.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch a crowd and I'll watch somebody say a joke that could end so beautifully. And then they're like, and safe. And then there's like, and I'm like,
People, you took a chance talking about Prop 3 and like that really country bar. Like it went silent. Like everybody had been
I
like
said, give it up for
laughing.
Prop 3, and then they didn't clap in Fruitport.
Crickets.
I'm not gonna say what the venue was because they were great people.
No, that was the best audience.
But it was an older audience. It was
please
definitely
tell
a
us what the
half and
venue
half
is.
split at best. But dude, yeah, I said give it up for Prop 3 because when I say give it up for Prop 3 in Metro Detroit, everybody claps. Women are like freedoms. I said that in Fruitport.
Yeah, Fruitport's a little different.
And they
animal.
just and I said or don't, and I was like, I get it. Because half of me immediately. It's a 50-50 split with comedy.
Where
They're gonna love it
the
or hate
fuck
it.
are they going to do comedy in Fruitport? Let us guess where it was.
Pincrest.
I already
I was
know.
thinking
Yeah,
it was
You
a big
ruined
guess,
it.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got so
That was
excited.
going to be
I
guess
said-
number 2. I was going to guess whatever the fuck the Little Brown Jug is now. It's some sort of barbecue place.
Oh,
now.
yeah, it's like-
I think
was
they also do
might be
shows
doing
there.
it there.
That sounds about right.
Pincrest was amazing though. Dude.
Yeah, the Pincrest.
was nice because I was able to say some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, I made a joke about sexism because we walked in and
Oh yeah.
because you got to crowd work and you got to see something in real life. I think if people don't remember it happened there, it
Yes.
really doesn't mean shit in comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
The only reason
Yeah.
comedy's nice is because it's like, you remember that time all of us? Like that's 100% what it has to feel like.
Right. They remember the show. You know what I mean? It's not just like you or the particular joke. They remember the show and like
Yeah.
maybe little things that you said to them. You know.
You guys should try to play. It's actually at Sherman Bowling in Muskegon, but they got an actual comedy club in there that brings in some pretty decent names and shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
It used to be, we used to play rock shows there way back in the day, and it was just called the Annex back then. And now I don't know what they did. I'm sure they fucking put a stage in or whatever, and they rebranded it, and it's got some fucking name. I don't know.
Nice.
They had Pauly Shore was just there. Akash from Schultz's show
podcast, yeah.
was there. Like they're bringing in people like that. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, we just had done a radio spot in Chicago last weekend, and it was great because I mean there's just a nice go-getter vibe in a city like Chicago.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Chicago, man?
Chicago's
Shit.
it's Midwest New York.
Yeah.
Because
That's
New
really good
York's just
shade.
full East Coast,
Yeah.
like, dude, get out of my way
It's
right
one of the only
now.
places I've never really been.
And that's
is
like
New
how a
York.
baby sounds. Yeah, no, dude, I've never been there either. My buddy talks mad shit about it.
I
And
drove through it one time, and that's it.
But my buddy lives in Brooklyn now, and I opened for Dave Hill, a comedian out of Brooklyn. So I think I'm going to try and set up a comedy
Yeah.
trip to go to
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
We're gonna keep doing these little field trips.
Yeah.
That's what you do, and that's hitting the road. I mean,
Yeah.
comedy is huge right now, and there's clubs and spots everywhere. I mean, fucking, you played Pincrest Lane, Jesus Christ.
You know what? It was
There's
so
enough
good.
places to do comedy.
There were so many people, and like,
Was there?
and the host got
Yeah.
them all to pay attention to. Like,
Nice.
he had this this good, like the substitute teacher that like has control of the class. That's the energy he brought. He's just like,
Damn.
It's going
I mean,
6-inch
dude.
voices. I can wait.
Yeah, and you got to think there's bowling right behind us that nobody's able to do.
Yeah.
That kind of felt like a flex. Like, hey, you guys, I know you're looking at these 5 bowling lanes, but you can't enjoy them tonight, okay? Because there's a comedian.
Because we got
speaking.
jokes.
Like, the first thing I said,
So
literally, because he was like, I just went there because she was doing a show, and I was like, oh, yeah, it'd be sweet to see. She was like, I'm doing a 30-minute set.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it'll be sweet to see. And
Dirty 30.
I went there, and he's like, hey, man. He's like, you wanna jump in here? He was like, you already made the trip. I know you do comedy. So I went up there, and it was funny. This one chick's like, she's like, there's an all women set. She's like, the whole lineup is just women. It's so amazing. And I go up immediately after her, like on a surprise guest. And
Coming
I was
with
like,
a bunch of trans jokes.
yeah. Well, I was like, how you guys doing? You know, they said, you guys wanted to hear the strong opinions of a black man. That's you guys, right? And they loved it. They were like, never. Oh, that's a silly thing you said.
Fruitport,
You're
baby.
the first black guy to go through Fruitport in maybe 10 years.
Exactly.
Not
But
Oh, yeah.
that's the thing, because like I was like talking about how I walked in and some guy in a camo hat was like, how you doing?
Yeah.
And I just became entangled in the friendliest
Oh,
conversation.
people in Fruitport, we're shitting on it, but we're literally
they
from
were the
Fruitport.
sweetest
They're-
people in the world.
Oh, yeah. They're
Those
just
the best.
normal people.
Yeah, because she was
Good
sitting
folk
there
over
writing
there.
us.
Good folk in that part of the
Yeah,
state. For
and
sure.
he left. He was like, "Don't tease me," and I felt bad because I was gonna go, "Oh, that guy's awesome," but he had left, so I was like, "He's probably outside with a rope." I don't know how you guys roll around
No,
here.
hell no,
and they
man.
laughed, but they laughed because they were like, "We would never.
Oh, yeah, dude.
we're too fat to hang a man. Come on, all the physical exertion you're asking for just to be racist."
Oh yeah, no, we all killed there. Like every single comedian
That's
killed there.
It's probably
was
like
so
kind
fun.
of a sneaky good spot. It's not like there's a whole hell of a
Amazing.
lot going on in Fruitport,
Amazing.
so
Yeah.
it's probably like, oh, this is dope. You know, there's a
Yeah.
fucking show here like in town that we can go see. So
Oh yeah. Well, and the guy that runs Ryan Fitzgerald, he's like the kind of guy that like he'll just take chances on people because he saw them and thought they were funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't need to know anything else other than that. So you can like one of the openers that night was a girl that it was her second time ever going up, and she had me belly laughing at least twice. I'm like, he just
She was
knows.
amazing. I feel bad that
You
I
just
can't
will
remember
make
her
sure
name
it's a
right
good
now.
show, you know?
Fucking Jamie, pull that up.
J-Mo!
J-Mo, pull that up. Yeah. But no, dude, it was amazing. Yeah, because she rocked 30 minutes. I just did like 7 minutes because he was like, "Can you just do this?" And
Yeah.
God, it felt so good though, because small town humor is nice because people aren't worried about like
Yeah.
anything outside of the small town. Like people take things so worldwide for no reason. They're like, I can't post a picture of my chihuahua. Somebody in India might be offended. And you're like, you don't know anybody in India. You're not going to India.
Indeed.
Why would chihuahuas? Who's been telling you this? And they're like, The Onion. And you're like, and this is like 80% of like the world now.
yeah.
Well,
America's finest news source.
Yeah. The internet.
Besides us.
I feel like before I started doing comedy, I would like sometimes I wouldn't get like fully offended to say anything, but I would like shirk away from things I thought were offensive. But now that I've been doing it, like it's so like hard to put yourself through like up on stage. You just want everyone to think it's funny. You're not going to say something because you don't think anybody's
Right,
going to think it's funny.
Yeah.
You are banking on the majority of people really loving this. So like the fact that like people are like, oh, they did it just to be offensive. I'm like, they did it specifically because they thought a lot of people would like to hear it.
Yeah.
Like that's
Like
just,
nobody's going up there specifically to piss people off and not get laughs. Right?
Well,
Like, I
right,
imagine
and-
that's the gig.
Well, I mean, and you're going to piss. The best part is the nice people will piss people off. I've watched so many
Yep.
nice comedians be like, I'm going to be the sweetest person ever. I don't know why they're Irish. And they shit the bed because, and I love going a few comedians up because if nobody gives love to like those guys that were just really trying to like give the audience what they wanted, I'll just be like, well, you guys asked for this. And I'll say the worst jokes. Because I'm like, now, and this jersey helps me. You walk up there in a Spawn
the
jersey.
uniform.
Hockey, yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, no. I would hope your brain would put it together. If you were on mushrooms, you'd immediately be like, this isn't good. This isn't good. That black guy's got a hockey jersey with Spawn on it. We're fucked, dude.
well, you used to kind of like go on the, like he ran a room in Cannon called Cat and Brew Works like every Friday. It's still running. But he would just go up first and then purposely just kind of like stomp the ground, like being like
Just
all
be
the
like,
most
"This is
offensive
wild.
stuff
Who can handle
purposely,
Yeah.
because then all the
Set
other
the tone.
comedians
Yeah.
are gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Like
but
immersion therapy right off.
But,
Yeah. Because if a host is like, oh, hey, you guys are just too soft about it, then the next guy feels steep. And,
Yeah.
and sometimes
Yeah.
you already want to give them that like leeway of like, you guys saw that, right? Like, as long as I can set the origin of insanity, then people can go
Yeah.
in and be like, dude, I said some wild shit because you already said wild shit.
I think I
at
base
minute
my
one.
set mostly off of that. Like if you see a comedian go before you, you get like a feel right away. Be like, okay, they're warm. They're warm.
right.
Like,
Yeah, when you get the host, it's like, hey, everybody ready to yuck it up? And the next person's like, so how about the Holocaust?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And that's why I
Awkward
immediately
transition.
go, how you guys doing? So about the Holocaust. And I immediately take it there.
But that's
then,
funny, man, and that's the thing is, as long as it's funny, man, you
Yeah.
can go anywhere.
Right, that's
I think.
the-
I was driving there.
the
I
rule.
literally made a joke. I was like, hey, you guys, I'm just going to say it, man. Traffic sucks. I think that's how Hitler recruited the Nazis. I think he was like, you know who's responsible for the traffic? Sergios. And I was just, it was about my hatred of traffic. And I literally
They
was
put
like,
in the
hey,
Autobahn and shit, dude.
dude. And I was like, look, if I was responsible for traffic, I'd kill myself. That's how much I care about
Low
people.
commute times.
Yeah. And dude, and they loved it because I was like, that's ridiculous. And you could tease Hitler because he's like the only person safe to tease now.
Oh, yeah.
He's the only person with like a dirty record. He got canceled. But he's the only person who got true cancel.
Bro, he got canceled hard,
because
man.
people were like, cancel people, but also I love Mark Wahlberg.
He got real canceled, dude.
my
Dude, he
Lord.
canceled his second season. he was like, oh, this is the 1945 season. I think I'm going to put an end to this one.
All right, listen, guys, let's take a break because I got to take a leak and get another
Yeah,
beer.
for sure, man.
So shout out to Shane. We were just talking about how good this fucking whiskey is. Oak Eden finished whiskey
So
with the
good.
charred oak thing in it. Our homie Shane dropped us off last week.
Nice.
Shout out
So
Shane. It's happening, bro.
I'm not even a whiskey drinker. I really am not. And I was like, that's delicious.
It's really good.
That's
isn't
good
it?
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the man. And
Benefits of having a buddy in the liquor industry.
Yeah,
Oh, dude,
yeah.
that shit's wild.
Use it all the time.
I went-
sponsored by Shane.
I went to my buddy's house to jam, and my buddy works with the guy who originally had the Spawn jersey, dude. It all comes back around. But he had a case of like off-brand Johnny Walker.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he
Off-brand.
works
What?
with
Johnny
he
Walking?
works with a lady
Jonathan Walker.
who is married. Yeah, it's like Bonnie Walker.
It's his younger brother.
Yeah. And he just had like a case of like probably like 16 of these bad boys, just fifths of scotch. And I was like, he was like, hey, everybody, Merry Christmas or something. Happy Rona. And he was just like, take as many as you want. And I took like 8. I gifted a few out.
Yes, sir.
I gifted a few out, but I'll tell you right now, I at that time, everything was locked down. I had a recording studio like set up in my buddy's room in his house, and I was just recording music like crazy. I have so many tracks of weird shit that I just did. I was like,
Unfinished-
not doing anything
unfinished
today. Yeah, just,
Right?
I was catching some of your stuff, man. The some of the high mile stuff, and then I caught some of your lo-fi things.
Oh,
also, I
dude,
was
thank
listening
you.
to.
Oh, you do lo-fi?
dude,
Oh my
I
gosh.
do everything. I've dipped my toes in all the pools. I get bored easy.
Me too.
And then she inspired. I've got a project that's dropping called Deer Ninja, DEER. Or no, Ninja Deer. Sorry.
Ninja Deer.
Cocaine deer.
Ninja Deer. No, I know, dude. That's gonna be the sequel. I'm gonna get the Cocaine Bear guys, and we're gonna do Ninja Deer.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta's going to be a tough get at this point, my friend.
Dude, I'm gonna get him, dude. I'm gonna deep fake the fuck out of Ray Liotta.
Get the AI.
Yeah, I'm gonna use half of the footage from Goodfellas, and I'm just gonna put a deer ninja or a ninja deer in it.
Yeah. That's just what I call engineers.
Yeah, you can't really. No, but yeah, it's a great. I was like, that sounds like a band, and I googled it, and nobody's using that shit.
I would imagine no.
So I was like, yeah. So
I can't
Ninja Deer is good because High Miles we're turning into a project I have with the guy I live with, because we record music as a trio, like an instrumental trio.
Okay.
I'll send you some links. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we've been recording since like last summer, and dude, we've got some
When your shit works
tasty
anyway.
licks. Well, no. Now I hit
don't
stop
fucking
all
with
the
you.
time. Oh no, I'm traumatized from the things that happened to me because I bought my digital 8-track for like my 18th birthday in like the November of 2007.
Yeah.
So I've had this thing for fucking almost 20 years, and it's beautiful.
Finally
6
figured it
drum
out.
tracks.
The manual.
Dude, 6 drum tracks, guitar, bass. In my garage, I used to do left, right, snare, kick, and then like 3 other instruments and vocals. It's trippy as balls.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we're all fucked up, right?
Yeah, man, I've gone through a bunch of those fucking. I had a mini disc recorder, fucking all kinds of task games and ADATs and fucking. I mean,
Well, I started because my
all that
buddy,
shit.
for $10, he sold me a tape recorder. And I just had one microphone, one shitty karaoke mic that I just hung up and
Hanging
just like
from the rafter.
perfectly had hanging up. And we'd record like sessions where like he would like hold it and do vocals into it while I was playing drums and my buddy was playing bass on like a crazy ass amp. So we'd pick up shit. I have old recordings from like 05 that are tripped.
yeah. Tons of old fucking CDs and shit. from
Dude,
back in the
old tapes, dude. Old rusty ass tapes that you need a
My
tape
Lord.
player. I said tape to a girl at Five Below. I was like, hey, do you guys saw the aux cord to the tape? And she was like, sir, what are you talking about? And I literally
Aux
just
doesn't even exist,
I just
let alone-
immediately said, I'm sorry, you're 20. And she said, how did you know I'm 20? And I was like,
Oh my god!
Which-
How did you know?
legitimately, I was like, you're 20. You have to at least be this young to just fully not know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
I don't know. I say get it. I got it on tape like all the time.
People are like, what?
Taped it.
Like you taped it? Like you videotaped it?
Yeah.
Back in the old days, recording shit off the radio, making
Oh, yeah.
mixtapes that way.
Yeah.
Oh
Looked
yeah.
it up.
Oh my god, I loved those. I loved getting mixed CDs from dudes. Let's bring that back, man. Let's just everybody get CD burners and start
adorable,
being
yeah.
romantic again, guys.
Well, music used to let us know who we are, you know? That's why I like the
Yeah.
fact you guys mess with music because I was like, oh, you operate on a totally different level. I mean, because music, dude, music and like military and family are the 3 closest knit people. Everybody else is good.
Shared trauma.
Like I love comedy.
That's what all those things have in common.
I love comedy, but like coming from like a musical background, it's a totally different
Yeah.
atmosphere. You
When
know?
we first started talking, so we were doing a little bit of stuff on Messenger when we were trying to get you guys booked originally. And you know my background on Facebook probably is that Francis the Mute, you know, the 2 hooded guys.
Yeah,
It's like, you picked up on the Francis the Mute shit. We were
Oh, yeah.
talking
Mars Volta.
Dude, I
that's
was that
badass,
for
man.
Halloween one year. I bought like
Damn, dude,
I
that's
bought,
a
like,
deep Mars
I bought
Volta.
like
Yeah,
no,
that's
this is the best part. I bought like
You
a
would,
sheet set
you hipster.
that came with like a red pillow. Like I think my girlfriend might have even bought the sheet set.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even mine, but I was like, oh, it comes with a
It's the
like
bag.
a thing. It
for
comes with the
yeah,
bag,
uh-huh.
and so I just found a suit. And I just wore a suit and a tie, and I just had this bag over my head the whole time.
Damn.
Oh, that's so
And I was like, you could see through it kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to like walk into the party and be like, hey, how's everybody doing? And they were like, what the fuck is happening?
I was gonna say I'm putting the over under of people that recognize it.
Yeah.
Oh, but, dude,
I'm
but the
taking
people who
under.
recognize,
yeah.
Dude, I played beer pong like that, just like, just throwing it in people's
I
faces.
feel like you can't speak if you're doing that either. You got to be totally silent.
All you have to do is make it once. No, dude, because that's not Francis. No, Francis the Mute is somebody that. No, it can't be that guy driving. That can't be Francis the Mute. That'd be hilarious.
Right.
They're like, no, that's the guy driving. It's Francis the Mute.
Yeah, that's a huge background, by the way. I completely forgot that, and that's
Yeah, it
fucking
shows.
even huger to use that. That's one of my
Dude,
favorite albums.
I love.
Yeah.
One time I got to see Mars Volta. It was Hella opening.
Yeah.
Then it was Mars
Yeah.
Volta.
And then
Then it was System of a Down at Joe Louis Arena.
We were at that show, but it was the
Van
next
Halen
stop.
one, right?
Yeah.
in Grand
So,
Rapids here, yeah.
but they were like, "Oh, your seats," because I got seats like way far back, away from the stage
Yeah.
in the balcony. They were like, "Oh, we put up a useless banner, so you're over here like super close."
Nice. Yeah.
And I got to be like tucked over in the like right corner.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, and at one point, Omar and Cedric just come out and they're talking to each other, and they're just kind of just calmly talking to each other and watching this. And James Brown starts playing, and Cedric just fully starts dancing.
Fully
starts dancing while still talking to like Omar Rodriguez Lopez, and he's just like, no, for sure. I bought these glasses from George A. Romero.
Getting warmed
and
up.
they're just, and dude, I was like, oh god, oh
Yeah, that's on brand for that
Yeah,
guy for
man.
sure.
oh, dude, it was the best thing I've ever seen anybody do because he didn't give a shit what was happening outside of that.
Right.
He just because he heard it because I watched him kind of do this when it came on. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, what were you saying?"
So, and he was
and then
almost
after
certainly
very
tripping balls.
Unnecessarily fast was he doing a full like dance, but still. And then they just departed.
At the stop here on that tour, my brother ran into. He didn't even know they were playing, and outside it's downtown here, Grand Rapids. He was like, dude, I swear to God, I just saw Omar fucking Rodriguez walking his Chihuahua, and he didn't even know. He ran into him outside the big hotel across the street, which they were definitely staying at.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And like he was like, yeah. And then I found out that like they for sure were playing here that night. Apparently, he was like out there walking his Chihuahua, and that was when they had the huge froze and everything. You know,
Dude, that's awesome. I went and saw them like at Van Andel
yeah.
back in like 2005, like 3 days before my birthday, November 2nd. It was great. And it was because my buddy got blown off by some chick. He was like, hey man, what are you doing? You know, this is when like cell phones, we actually had them in real life. For the first time ever. 2005 was the first time we didn't have to use them on nights and weekends. and my buddy hit me up and I was just walking home miserably. He was like, hey man, you should walk to my house and come to this concert. And I was like, who is it? And he was like, Mars Volta and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can probably make that happen. I was like, how much? And he was like, no. He was like, you can come, but you got to trip balls with us because you can't make it weird. Okay, if you come with us, you're going to trip some balls, okay? And then we're going to go to this concert.
Through a win-win situation.
And I was like, and I hadn't tripped balls before, quote unquote. And people are they're gonna be like, what is this? I can't wait till somebody Googles it. What is tripping balls? But
the audience, our
was
audience was well aware.
no, that's good. I just had to make sure. But no, it was the
There's
greatest
paintings
concert.
of cats here.
No. This is the worst. This is the weirdest psychedelic experience I've ever had. At one point, we're just standing there, like in the lobby of Van Andel, like listening to Mars Volta in the background while our buddy buys merch, and we try not to leave him behind. And we're just standing there, and these two people, one guy's dressed like Shaggy, and the other girl's just dressed like anybody who listens to Janis Joplin, and they just walk over to us, and we're all just like, what the fuck is going on right now? And they get to us, and they go, hey, are you guys on acid right now? And we're all just looking at each other like, no. What? And then they go, because you look like the only normal people here. And I was like, I'm leaving right now. This is too much.
Oh,
It
dude.
was great.
There was a dark time in my life where I used to really get a lot of satisfaction out of tripping balls around people that didn't know I was tripping balls. Like, I'd go out at a bar night and just
I've, like,
drop
hardly
and just.
ever done that.
Oh, you're right. No, there's
Chuck
a
E. Cheese
special
was
thrill
beautiful, dude.
because unless they've done LSD, you can basically be like, you know what? I just look really drunk. That's all. I can just have confidence.
No, I
so
think now people are like, this is more. I think we definitely have a this is more generation.
Yeah.
Where they're like, no, I've tried weed before and this doesn't happen to you.
Microdosing. Everybody's
That's a
microdosing
brave
and
move,
shit.
man. I need to be not near anybody else.
Yeah.
when that whole
Yeah.
type of thing
Well, one
is going
time,
down.
one time it did kind of backfire, but I just kind of doubled down with my confidence because like I ran into like some of my coworkers, and I worked like at an engineering firm, and I'm like, what's up, guys? Well, I'm already a little eccentric, so it's to my benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like,
Well,
oh
you're
my
on acid
God.
at work all the time too, so they can't tell the difference.
Yeah. That's how you got
That's the secret, guys.
It's all the rage in Silicon Valley, right? The microdose action, like it's
Yeah.
Programmers are different people, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
different.
I've worked in like a machinist, like technician world.
Yeah.
And that shit is weird. People just being in a room with just you isn't a good thing. Like anytime you work in a 3 or less, like I'll even say 5 or less. 5 or less people, anything you can fit in a car, that conversation's gonna get weird fast. Because 5 people just doesn't intimidate anybody in the world. They're like, fuck these 4 other people. Okay, it's me and you. Really, it's me and you against 3. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? Because, I mean, I worked on a truck, like, fixing robots that went into the sewer. and that crew was wild, dude. They didn't have a bathroom on it, so like guys
You're
that
in
were
the
like
sewer already.
No,
Who would
this
have
is the
known
best
that
part.
sanitation
Guys-
workers were weird?
No,
Right?
this is the best part. A guy would come do like a check on our truck, and he'd be like, "Hey, everybody's got to get out of the office thingy because I got to take a piss in this bottle." And then pour it into like the sewer, and I was like, "Okay,
Jesus
yeah, no, this
Christ.
is normal."
Yeah, the meth checks out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
That's what Amazon drivers are doing
you
now.
show your work, yeah,
Just peeing into bottles and shit.
dude, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal, man.
All right, listen, guys. We got to get into some news. You ready to get into
Yeah,
some
let's
news?
do it.
Before we do that, though, I got you a little present, my friend.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Check that out.
Oh, nice. An official
What is
mixer's manual.
It's a vintage cocktail
Choice, dude.
recipe book.
Oh,
You said
appreciate
mixers,
You
and
have
I
such
thought you were
great
talking about.
taste.
I know.
I thought you were talking about music
That's
mixing.
what
I was
when I
like,
first saw it, that's what I thought it was. And then I was like, oh, it's cocktails.
oh yeah.
Oh, that's prime. Much
Pretty cool, though. There's probably some gems in there.
Love it. Yeah,
Some
I've been going
old-
real
some
deep
old
down the
gimlets
cocktail
and
right.
shit.
There's got to be some badly named mixes in there.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be some. You have yourself a wife slapper? Yeah, on the rocks, buddy. You're like, okay, this is bad.
Going into a bar going, I'll have a wife slapper?
Yeah, we don't serve those anymore. We stopped last week.
Pumped to go through the gamut on that one.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's like a book that I would put on my Pinterest board.
Right.
Yeah,
I
it's
really.
pretty- and look how vintage that fucker is.
Yeah.
It's a
bet-
real
bet-
Pinterest.
block of time or two. for
It's
sure.
Pinterest. It's just old ass shit in real life.
All right, man. I haven't fucking been keeping up with the news at all, man. So, all right, before we get into it, I had like 4 bangers that I wrote, and I completely left them on my other computer.
Oh,
Perfect.
I'm leaving it hanging again here.
that's unfortunate
I
because
know.
this is especially
I
bad
had some
material
solid
this
stuff.
week. Yeah. I do not have solid stuff. It's hit or miss week to week. This is just bad material.
It happens.
Be
It
prepared to
happens.
lower that bar.
Okay.
Dangerville podcast presents News of the Week.
All right.
Nice.
So we'd like to educate and inform as well as entertain on this show. So we're going to drop a little news here. First up on the docket, we've got all 7 Pennsylvania chocolate factory explosion victims found. So all 7 missing bodies have been recovered from the site of an explosion at a chocolate factory in eastern Pennsylvania that was so powerful it moved the building several feet from its original location.
Holy shit.
Yes.
This is like some Looney Tunes level.
Yeah, it's intense.
Dude, fuck Willy Wonka.
So witnesses said that it was the most violent explosion of dark chocolate since Will Smith took the stage during the 2022 Oscars.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great little sound bit
That's
there.
the only semi-decent
guy
one
sound
we've got
bit.
there.
Oh, wow.
It's all downhill from here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So 400-year-old murals found during kitchen renovation in northern England.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
So a couple discovered a biblically themed fresco behind a wall while installing new cupboards in their apartment as part of a renovation project.
Wow.
Yeah. In a related story, Brendan Fraser was thrilled to find a slice of stuffed crust pizza, 3 Cheetos, and a half-eaten Mentos under his sizable gut while disrobing after the Oscars.
Okay, yeah.
They're selling it on eBay.
Whoa, not great material. Like I said, lower that bar. It's a slow news week this week, kids. Slow news week.
Yeah.
So Gwyneth...
He's like, how'd they hear about that, dude?
also terrible.
I don't know. Someone was sniffing those panties, though.
So Gwyneth Paltrow accuser calls Utah ski crash a serious smack.
Yeah, yeah.
So the man
Smack.
suing Gwyneth Paltrow after a 2016 ski collision at a Utah resort told a jury on Monday that the actor crashed into him from behind and sent him absolutely flying.
Yep.
And he's suing for $300,000 on the basis of permanent brain damage and memory loss.
Yep.
However, the judge was unconvinced by the specific examples of memory loss presented as evidence by the plaintiff, saying, "Sir, none of us can remember the last time that Gwyneth Paltrow made a good movie."
Oh, too soon.
So
Too
one
soon,
terrible
dude.
jokes.
One of my jokes was about the verdicts in on that now.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you're way late on that news, but no. One of mine
So
was
who
definitely
won?
about the verdict coming in on that.
Who
Oh.
won the trial?
So she won, actually.
What? The
And,
rich person won the trial?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Her mom's rich too, and you know what they say: the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
that's a deep cut there.
Kazam! I don't know
Are you
what
proud of
means.
that?
I'm not at all.
Okay.
I'm not proud of any of this.
That was,
okay?
that was,
I'm
that
the
was
worst.
worthy of the.
Okay, I mean, come on. I had to drop that Gwyneth bomb.
We'll give him a happy sounder there.
Yeah.
So I'll have some kind of terrible joke on that next week.
Yeah.
Well, I only read a little bit about it, but like, what the fuck? Isn't that kind of the cost of doing business when you're going skiing?
Yeah.
Like, some
How
people
are you
blast
just-
into you? Like, shit
How are you
happens,
skiing with
suck it up.
people?
Yeah.
He like hit her too. That was the thing
Well,
about
it sounded like there were
it.
two
Yeah.
sides. Like she
Yeah, yeah.
was saying he
But
hit her. I don't know.
It doesn't
was
matter though.
sketchy,
You're
yeah.
skiing. Like even if she did hit you, she didn't mean to hit
Yeah,
you
yeah.
because she could have gotten really messed up too. So
Yeah.
It was on
I
like
don't.
the bunny
It's an
hill too.
accident.
Like it really
Like-
was, dude.
What are you doing skiing with people who need to sue you? Okay, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
How about you get the fuck off?
They probably
our
got
hills,
there on a
okay?
guest pass. They probably like, you know what I mean? They were on there on a timeshare or some shit like that.
No, they weren't. She was on a timeshare. She was like, "I'll just do this for fuck's sake," and then now she's
I've
out
never
here
liked her
running
since
into people.
she broke that man from Coldplay's heart.
Look, and now
Oh,
she's
they not
breaking
together
people.
anymore or something?
They broke up like
Oh,
around
shit,
the
that-
scientist.
I
Like
don't
it was
fucking-
like
Now she's breaking more than hearts. Okay, get off our cancel Gwyneth Paltrow's
She's
skiing
breaking hips
policy.
now.
Yeah, She's
Old
on
man's hips.
All right, kids, we got a couple more terrible jokes to grind through here. Lionel Richie says All Night Long is down to a fierce 15 minutes. So while so Lionel Richie, while giving the backstory to his classic song on The View, said, when I wrote All Night Long, it was truly all night long. Now my all night long is down to a fierce 15 minutes.
Okay, so he's
Oh,
talking about his
like-
performance
Yeah.
there.
Like 15 minutes is
sack.
bad.
I
I like
I
how
was gonna
he's like,
say,
oh, look at me and my shitty 15. Bro, if you have things to
Whatever.
do, a 15 is like the perfect spot. Like, dude, you can maintain a real life off. You can do 3 15s.
that's
in
a feature
day.
performance, which is arguably the best position in the
Exactly.
lineup. He's the
Comedians
feature.
can't even do 15, okay? Get it on.
For sure. So he followed up by saying that it's still more impressive than Jared Leto's 30 Seconds to Mars.
Oh, the truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah, no, fuck that guy, man.
All right, thankfully we just have
too
two
fucking
more
blonde.
here. So miners make a frantic escape while being trapped in a collapsed gold mine.
Whoa.
So a group of Congolese miners made a lucky escape from a gold mine that collapsed on March 25th after an especially heavy rain. Former Season 1 American Idol co-host and current gas station attendant Ryan Dunkelman commented, I'm glad the story had a happy ending. In my experience, deciding to leave a gold mine doesn't always work out the way that you hope it will.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Some
all right.
timely Ryan
All
Dunkelman
right. I
material
feel
that
you
the
on
people
there.
demand.
Oh yeah, they were like, "Hey man, we're done with the Bo Vice stuff, dude. We need something."
Everybody
fresh."
remembers the dunk.
Okay.
There you go. Get a crusty.
And thank God we are down to our last terrible joke here. Google rolls out AI-powered chatbot. Did you see this one?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So Google recently introduced an AI-powered chatbot dubbed Bard as its answer to ChatGPT tool developed by Microsoft.
Okay.
Bard put on an impressive showing in its debut, only being stumped by one query, replying to the user who asked it, seriously, I have no idea how Brendan Fraser got this fat. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your...
Oh, that's great.
That's an all-time terrible news segment right there. I'm not even
that
gonna
was pretty
sugarcoat it.
good.
That was rough. That was
I like
rough.
that. I like that.
Slow news week, short on... Just bad.
Dude, that's
I got a good bad joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the fastest item in the grocery store? Milk, because it's pasteurized before you see it.
Oh, wow. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna throw what did I throw against
God
a wall
damn.
earlier? What did I
bunny?
throw? A bunny.
Oh, I had two
So
things.
wait. Now, do we shit on the headlines?
You could shit
we
on
shit on the
anything
headlines?
at all.
You can
Yeah.
Okay, because
There's no
that
rules.
chocolate factory shit. Like, are we really not gonna see a picture of this guy? Like, I want him to fully be dressed as Willy Wonka. This was just like OSHA gone wrong. They were like, look, he's getting out of hand. He's legally changed his name to William.
Seriously.
Yeah, look, you guys don't see the picture, but I see the big picture building up.
There was a lot of jokes you could do with that one. That one had a lot of different ways you could go with it. I was expecting some sort of diarrhea joke, honestly. It was
No.
Yeah, I
probably
was
gonna go
thinking
with that.
about it. I was actually pretty happy with that one. I think a Will Smith joke was one of my
Yeah, or I
favorites.
was going to kind of make the same joke, only instead of using Will Smith, use Lizzo.
Yeah.
I like to think of
Lizzo.
I like to think of Lizzo stepping on stage and slapping Will Smith.
No.
And I just want to see if there would be backlash, or if people would just go.
Well, right now everybody just Will Smith needs a smacking.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Oh, I mean, just
Anybody
that
to do
night,
it.
instead of Will Smith, Chris Rock, it's just Will Smith says something to Lizzo like,
Oh, man.
hey, hi." He just says hi, and then she just walks on stage and slaps him.
So
And then
whoever
it's just-
presented his Oscar that night should have fucking slapped him right when he fucking
Dude, it
walked
was-
back
oh,
up. Dude, how
man.
funny that'd have been, dude.
I was like, not surprised. I was like, I kind of liked it because it just showed what 2020 did to people.
Have you guys seen
People-
that professional slap shit?
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, it's like
Yeah.
an MMA, like Dana White bought it. You
We
know?
were
Yeah.
asking for this, man.
Well, they need to get fucking Chris Rock and Will Smith on there and just go back and forth.
That's
Yeah.
gonna happen when they're both like 10 years from now and lost all their money to their hoes.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be on that show. Watch Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like celebrity deathmatch.
Celebrity boxing, all that shit
Yeah.
back in the day. Remember that? Screech was on there.
Getting fat paid.
Screech
my
versus
goodness.
Danny Bonaducci, if I'm
Oh,
not mistaken.
God,
Celebrity
Jesus
They're like,
boxing.
we had the
Christ.
guy from the challenge. Clearly not Dave Mira. He couldn't be here. Oops. Okay. Oops.
It's like a shitty dad and a shitty stepdad like vying over the attention of their like daughter that's not interested.
okay. Too soon. Okay. Their listeners don't deserve this. I'm just kidding.
Nobody's listening. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's safe.
No, dude. Dude, the miners thing. All I could imagine is like them playing Resident Evil and not hitting square fast enough. It's just like just like trying to escape a mine, like Leon style.
That
It's just
game's-
like rocks falling down. It's just like in a circle.
No,
That's
Prince
a
of
horrifying
Persia.
fucking game, man. That was one of those games where I was almost scared to play it by myself.
Dude,
back in the day
Resident
between
Evil, the
lights
shitty
off.
camera angles. You just walk around Resident Evil. It's like, here's
Yeah.
a camera. You're like, what is this
Yeah.
camera? It's like your foot. You're just like shooting
I
a
kind
zombie.
of liked it though. I kind of liked that aspect of it. That it was kind of like put you in these weird perspectives and shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
I didn't
thing.
play a ton
Now
of it.
you have so much control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, true.
I don't know.
That was different back in the day, man.
Oh, it was wild.
In my day, it was fucking Mario 64. You know, you had to fucking you had to set your own camera. You remember the
Yeah.
fucking little camera guy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. A video game hasn't scared me a long time until recently. I played Stray. And but it's because it's like the cat, whenever it dies, it really is like, and you're just like traumatized immediately. And so this whole time you're like, I'm not going to kill you, kitty.
Yeah, we played that too.
No, I'm going to treat you right. Oh God, what's happening? Like,
See, that's why I'm a heartless prick. Like, I'll play Fallout and I'm like, I'll just be like walking to a town and there'll be a kid that runs up and it's like, how's it going, mister? And I'll toss a grenade down and it won't
I know what your
explode. I'm
Fable
like,
character
"What?"
looked like.
I'm like, what is this game? I'm like, you can't. What about this kid can't blow
The whole
up?
reason I play video games is to kill innocent people.
Blow up kids. Look, hey, let them live, but at least throw some ragdoll effects on them. I should be able to launch the kid. That would make it a little more fun. You know? It's the most violent video. I don't know if you guys play Fallout.
No, I don't play shit anymore.
I played it
I'm out on
once.
it.
Yeah, I
Dude,
played it for a hot
it's
minute.
hands down just the most unnecessarily violent video game in the world. Like,
Nice.
people explode. And then I was like, oh, this game is unnecessary. Like, just all that'll be left is just the torso. And you have like hand like rockets that shoot like nukes. So you could be standing on a hill and just be like, pew, psh, and just like destroy a whole town.
Damn.
And it's brutal.
Did you guys play The Last of Us?
No.
Did you watch The Last of Us?
I watched up until the Ron Swanson episode,
That was
and
rough,
it broke.
right?
And no. Then it broke my heart, and I was like,
Bro.
"They're not getting better than this.
No.
Don't drop a bomb like this.
Dude.
Don't drop a great episode like this on me, and then expect me to go on.
Bro.
You capped the whole story.
That episode was rough.
That episode was
I
amazing.
haven't watched
though.
it yet because I need an adult with me when this happens.
No, it was
It's pretty good. It's
dude.
pretty
It was a
I know, I
great
feel like it
episode.
has to be.
Especially Ron Swanson. Like,
Yeah.
not being Ron Swanson. Like, my
It's
whole
really
thing
random.
is, Danny McBride's amazing, but he's always just Danny McBride.
Yeah.
You know,
There's never anything else.
Yeah, exactly. But that episode, I was like, dude, I fuck with this heavy.
Did you happen to catch? So there's this like mini series called Devs. I think it was an FX show. I want to say with Ron Swanson also.
Absolutely, dude. That show was
fucking
wild.
Badass show, dude. That was great. dude.
Because the whole
What's it
time
on?
I'm watching it, wait, what were you doing?
What's it on?
Oh,
I
it's
think it was. I saw it on Hulu, but I think
it's on Hulu.
FX.
I've been going on.
I think it was only on Hulu though, because I mean, like let's just cut right to it. Is anything still on TV? Like, is anybody still turning on the TV with a cable box?
Cable for years.
No.
Yeah, no, we're done with that, right? Okay,
Yeah.
get your life right. But I'm just kidding, you guys. I don't have a cable box. I'm just teasing you because I'm poor.
I still have Comcast.
Yeah. But dude, Devs was so trippy, man. Like, and I think everything's kind of becoming psychedelic shit is coming back hard because I think 2020 was like everybody's non-consensual acid trip. People were like, I would never go deep inside of my own brain with all the free time you have in your stoner life. You're starving artist, like weird.
Yeah.
I do whatever I want, bohemian lifestyle. And then the government was like, you shall be at your home alone. Take it in within yourself. They're like, what the fuck did you say? This is crazy right now. I don't want to do. And people just went deep. I mean, because you can do it sober. You know, psychedelics are nice because they're like, hey, dude, you want to get deep inside of these thoughts? Because, you know, we already try. But, like, it makes it appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why I like comedy. I think if somebody's, like touchy about comedy, just take some psychedelics. Take a couple mushrooms. Say a couple
for
bad
sure.
things. Live your life.
Right.
100%, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody's touchy about comedy, they're just somebody I don't want to fuck with at all. And, you
Yeah.
know, I'm just like,
Same.
hey, you're not my kind of person, dude. Like,
Yeah, dude. Because, like I said, it's accidental joy.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing. She's always like saying that shit all like happy, like. Because I'm just like, I like making people feel bad about laughing. Like my mom the other day, she's gotten to the point where I could keep a riff going so well that she told me to stop talking. Completely. I started making a joke and she was like, you can't do this. Not while God's watching. Stop doing this. Stop. Please stop. And I was like, I just kept doing it. She was like, no, really stop. You can't keep telling this joke. And I was like, okay, whatever. But I was like, that's awesome that I can have her just, she was cracking up.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh yeah. And then, I mean, did John Bonet really need a future?
Yeah.
Like, was she gonna go to that? You think John Bonet Ramsey was gonna change the fucking world? She's like, no.
oh, man.
But of course, I'm just,
Neuroscientist John Bonet.
yeah, exactly. Nobody was like, here's Dr. John Bonet Ramsey. Okay. I thought John Bonet was a man. That's the only reason I clicked yes. I'm a sexist piece of shit. I don't know what to tell you
Well,
guys.
that's got to be the best though when you get somebody cracking up and like rolling over some shit that they know they shouldn't be laughing.
They get a
at.
very
It's just like, I can't
specific
help it.
vibe to them. You can
Yeah.
tell that
'Cause
they don't want to laugh, and they
it's
did
a-
anyways. And
Yeah.
that's a special kind of like.
It's a teapot. It's like it went.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's no like. Like there's not that when there's like oh god I'm
Yeah,
sorry
right.
it's like a sneeze. It's like a comedic like sneeze cough.
Yeah.
They're like, oh god, oh you're fucked. You're a terrible person. And I like that because your thoughts are terrible. Again,
Well, laughter is
Every-
involuntary, and that's part of the great thing. That's what you're talking about. I read this thing one time. It was some sort of, they tried whatever, fucking Stanford or Harvard or something. They tried to do something that was like determine like what actually makes people laugh. Like what actually is it? And their conclusion was essentially that if you take two ideas that shouldn't be like, or that it's
Together.
like taking two ideas and connecting them in an unexpected way.
Yes.
That's what fucking will make you
I
laugh.
agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
But it's almost impossible to like actually scientifically deduce what's funny.
I should probably
You know?
take
But
notes
that's one
on
of the
this ahead of the
things.
next news segment.
It's
for
one of
next
the
week,
things.
But that was just what they, you know, it's scientifically, that was their conclusion. I remember thinking, oh, that kind of makes sense. Like when you take two concepts and connect them in a way that nobody's ever heard before, that will involuntarily
Well, it's
make
like the
you laugh.
misdirection act.
well
Yes.
not even
Well,
that. No.
it's
it's-
fine.
Oh wait, what were you gonna say?
Well, no, I was just gonna say. So, like, I've sat down and like watched a bunch of comedy and been like, why did I think that was funny?
Right,
and like
yeah.
really asked myself those questions. And I would agree with that, but I
Yeah.
think that's just why I laugh.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll go and see shows and like they are not making like, you know, unexpected analogies.
Mm-hmm.
They're not relating to it in a weird way that you wouldn't immediately know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like somehow how they deliver it, or I don't know. I think there's a
Yeah,
different kind
exactly.
of draw too.
There's
I think
that shit too, and somebody's just goofy and their voice inflection, you can make people laugh.
or
just like-
rants, you know,
Yeah.
rants.
Well, that's why I'm always talking about, like, my mom will be like, oh, do you like this comedian? Do you like this comedian? And I don't like a lot of big comedians because I'm like, those are like, excuse me, like comics more than they're comedians. A comedian will tell you a joke in the lightest sense and say it however they need to, and you'll fully understand it and appreciate it at its fullest. A comic will just be like hibbity 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 and just like lose their mind in like almost like a jester.
Yeah.
They'll just make you laugh with some sort of way. It's like, oh, I squirted a little bit of water on you. Look at me. I'm like, they're two different worlds.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I can walk into a room and just have you laughing with like zero energy and zero life, if I can just walk up and just calmly say something to you or sit on a stool, you know, like Mark Maron or every black comedian ever.
That's what's crazy. There's all these styles, so like you can just fucking like there's no wrong way, right? As long as it's like funny and people can do it in so vastly different ways, and it still makes you laugh. It's like it's wild. It's a wild art form.
You just make it relatable, man. Like you were saying, the two things that don't mix. Like one thing that gave me a lot of hope. I made a joke about wife beaters. I think it's terrible. I think it's terrible for women out here, and it's obvious it's terrible for women out here because we still call tank tops wife beaters. Okay,
Yeah.
The second we start calling them kid fuckers, we'll be like, okay, you guys, we are done with the nicknames. Okay, this is a tank top forever. We can't. I don't know what we were thinking the first time.
Establishing again that people value kids over women.
100%. Because they're like, this kid's a boy. So that's unfortunately.
Looking at you, China.
Yeah, exactly. We've got our eyes on you.
Do you guys think, kind of throwing it back to what we were talking about before with like comedians, like what I was kind of thinking about with what you're saying there is what we were talking about, like when comedians start doing stuff that's not funny and they're just like what I've been bitching about Chris Rock or Chappelle. Like
soapboxy.
So it gets soapboxy. I almost feel like, and those guys are top tier. It almost feels like once they get to a certain point of fame or success or whatever, an age or whatever, that like, it's almost like they're just up their own ass. They're just used to everybody saying yes.
Absolutely.
They're just famous, you know. So
Well,
like, I think that might be part of it.
I feel like maybe their motivations change because, like, to me, there's kind of two motivations, right? One is because you want to like feel important, right? And then like I think the other one is like you think that you should give more like, you know, good to the world than bad, and laughing such an inherently good thing that it's like virtuistic in a way.
You're trying to do the virtue thing, and that's what I'm saying is like, I don't want Chris Rock to be Bono all of a sudden, you know, like don't quit trying to save the world, bro. Like come with, you know, you were in CB4 or whatever, you know, like
Chris Rock.
Well, I think those are like the things, right? I think it's partially they probably feel that like I've got this voice, I've got this audience. It's now sort of like due diligence to get these great thoughts out there and let people, you know, this is the better way of living, whatever.
Because his motivation is different now. His motivation is more about like, oh, I want to like change the world in a different way rather than just like the pure like I just want to make people happy. It's like I want to make.
But I think there's also probably just like a semi-arrogant component of that, right? Like it's like fucking actors when they get up on their big soapbox. It's like, dude, you read lines that somebody else wrote in front of a camera.
No. I think right now, like I'm just gonna hot take. I think a lot of people put out like overcompensating nice shit because they know they're dickheads. Like they know they're like, hey, you guys, don't forget that time I said this about this because I'm gonna be.
They're
a
worried
piece
about
of
getting
shit.
canceled or something.
No. It feels like it's like they're trying to balance the scales. Like I say the worst jokes, and I love saying the worst jokes because I don't have shit to hide. I'm just gonna be like, look, I'll never treat you like an actual piece of shit. On stage, I can be the worst person in the world because I'm never that. I'm never going to be like, oh, fuck you and make you feel bad. And, let's talk about abortion. Like I told myself after fucking, like I said, after the Capitol happened, you know, and America proved themselves. I'm just kidding, you guys. Oh, my God, don't do it again. But I was like, I'm just going to keep all my craziest thoughts on the stage. I was like, I'm never going to bring them up and just like, and as musicians, that hurt the most because we all saw it happen. We all saw people fracture and become like two parts so fast. Yeah. You were like, so you do believe in Atlantis right now and you'll die for it. And your friend's like, yeah, dude, what the fuck, man? I've always been this. And you're like, okay, delete contact. And like that just...
What's a good point, though? It's almost like a social equity score, right? Like I'm a piece of shit in real life, so now let me like say these great things in front of the mic and like offset the other.
Like, I hope that Epstein list don't come out. Yo.
yeah, exactly. And you're like, dude, what the fuck? Why are you talking about Epstein? You
I
know
better
that
get
shit
in
was
front
terrible.
of this shit.
Some of the wokest content comedians I've ever known are like the biggest sleaze bags to women.
yeah.
But then
Bill
there's
Cosby. I mean, what kind of more of an
Exactly.
example? I mean,
Keep
America's
it clean,
dad,
guys. Keep it clean.
yelling at
just
black
like I keep
people.
my crime scenes.
He's all going, I can't understand you to black people and shit, black comics and stuff, like being
Yeah,
it's
wear
like,
a sweater and pull
But
your
again,
pants up.
it's
or
that
whatever shit he
overcompensating
used to say
shit.
was.
Like
That's
I always tell people, I
100%,
go,
dude.
if you're not willing to be like kind of the grime that is humans, like Hunter S. Thompson, one of the greatest examples of just humanity, because this guy was like, I'm a rich sleazebag who gets fucked up all the time. These are my stories. He was like the first Law and Order. He was like, these are their tales. Dun, dun. And then it just started. But, like people that overcompensate with it. Nobody's a fucking angel. Mother Teresa never said shit, dude.
well, and I think I forget which like psychologist, one of like the main ones or whatever, said this, but I think it's true. They're like, only if you're a person that's capable of great evil can you actually be good, because unless you have that moral dilemma, then that's like where morality lies in like that decision making.
Right.
So it's like if you you could never be mean, it's like, well, then that's not really a choice then, is it?
Yeah, trying to eat
Feels
these
like
chickens,
a little bit of
dude.
almost like social camouflage to your point, though, right? Like
Yeah.
about some of the wokest people being some of the biggest pieces of shit. It's like
It
let
is,
me
it's like
throw up this
camouflage.
fucking
social
Dude, social camouflage,
Look at this
another
guy.
great band
Animal
name, dude.
Coining
Social
that shit, dude.
camouflage,
Oh
dude.
my
Ska
gosh.
band right now,
We're
dude.
just
Dude.
throwing them out, man.
dude,
Yeah.
so-
Talking to you, Nate Cohn. Where you at, bro?
No, but I mean, you're right, man. And that's what I think fucks everything up, because like nobody knows who they really are. Like my little brother, he calls me up. He calls me up constantly because he's like, how do you deal with the world? And I'm like, look, it's been fucked up for a long time. Like, I was there when Clinton said what he
Whiskey.
said. I was there when Clinton was like, what, me? And then I was there when Clinton was like, what plane? Like, it's been a lot of Clinton chronicles.
A lot of up
my-
and down.
A lot of up and down. But he was like, the world's so crazy now. And I was like, the world kind of feels like that part in a zombie movie where you find out your best friend got bit. And you're like, oh no, this is terrible.
Yeah.
I have to either kill you or just leave now. And then you find out, and I was like, but 2020 felt like the whole room got bit.
Yeah.
Like you were in a gymnasium standing in the center of it, and everybody was like, and then they all turned to zombies around you.
Right.
Yeah.
You had to climb out the window and fight for dear life. But we're better now, America. We're better now, right?
The world's always been crazy, though. There's always fucking times when it's like, it seems like it's the worst, but if you think about like the late 60s, motherfuckers getting shot.
I think
in the
we're
See, but
better
I-
now.
and
so-
shit, and
But like my parents are in their 70s, so it's like I asked them like when
Yeah.
all this went down, I'm like, do I just lack perspective here? Was it like this bad and like this? And they're like, no, it was not
Yeah.
this bad. They were like
You know,
in no
but
uncertain terms.
we have higher peaks and higher or
Yeah.
lower lows. Like I think there's the best people now, but there's the worst people now.
It's a
But
different
the
level of
worst,
noise
The
now.
worst kind of like, if we're being real, it's like the ocean. Once you get like so low, you're just at a low. Like once you're like prison worthy, we're like, okay, that's done now. But like the highs are getting higher.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it too, to your point, and this is my take, and I had like a roundabout conversation about this with my mom kind of the other way, because we were talking about like, are there really this many more diseases and all? Because it's bird flu, avian flu, COVID, this, that, and I think a lot of it is just media is so much more prevalent now.
Yeah.
And social media and all of this stuff. So I think
24-hour news.
Exactly.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're being bombarded with
Yeah.
this negative information so much more frequently than people were
Right.
50 years ago, where you're only hearing 30 minutes on the 8 o'clock news at night.
Yeah.
Kinda
And now
solidifies
it's
it.
a never-ending
Those were the
like
days,
stream
Yeah,
of
for
fucking
real.
It's kind of like a
throwing
UV
at
light on the glue on your braces. It's just like the more
Yes,
you're exposed, it's like the harder and
It's like
harder
a
and more
UV light in my
calcified your
bedroom.
opinion
It's like,
is.
Yeah,
I
it
always
was
knew it was covered in semen.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
really see
No,
it
it's
brought
like
to
the
life
UV
that.
light
Like,
and
to
all.
put
Put
the
the
new
UV
perspective
light
on
in.
things,
It's like the hotel UV light where you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, okay, there's cum everywhere.
It's like this futon around right now.
Yeah, exactly. No wonder this futon won't fold anymore. It's dried from all the semen.
But
no.
shit was crazy. I mean, like you think about, it's like, okay, well, like Trump just got indicted. That's fucking super wild. But like 30, 40 years ago, whenever the fuck they made fucking Nixon resign and shit. Like, that was fucking wild as fuck. Like, a couple years before that, they're fucking blowing the president's fucking head apart.
Oh, dude, I
You
mean,
know, like,
Kennedy,
like-
honestly, shout out to Kennedy for being
Shout
like
out,
the
man.
first dude who had his mind blown. Like, seriously, like,
Well,
when it comes to
Abraham
woke-ass
Lincoln might
presidents,
fucking, have
dude, yeah, but
something to say
nobody
about
was
that.
on video. Hey, dude, if it's not on the gram, like, does it matter? Does it? Dude, Kennedy getting his head blown off, definitely on
I got
the
it
gram.
on 8mm, yo.
Bro, I got it on Snapchat. You know that guy was the first influencer.
My boys,
He was
the Bruters, got that shit on
He was
lock.
like, yo, dude, follow me. Dude, watch that Kennedy clip. Hashtag mind blown. Dude, hashtag not my president. Like, dude.
I absolutely think it was the mob. I absolutely think it was mob.
We absolutely look. Honestly, America goes hard. So, like, shout out to America for killing a white president. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, my mom's always like, "Can you believe this happened?" I'm like, "Look at Kennedy. This guy was like fucking Marilyn Monroe," and America was like, "Nah, son, you're blowing up our spot." It was like it was like an ecstasy deal. I was like, "Yo, dude, you come over too much on foot, and it's over." Okay, making me look sus out here. Yeah, dude. Shout out to Kennedy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marilyn Monroe.
Indeed. That's crazy shit, man. And they played that shit on fucking Geraldo or whatever. You know
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that shit? The first time they played the film.
And it was a comic that brought it on.
yeah, it
there,
was a
right?
comic. Yeah, famous LA scene comic. Like, bought that tape or whatever. You guys know about all that? All that
Not
fucking-
at all.
You know,
but that makes sense
you
as
know
a comic. That's the
famous
funniest
tape,
video.
you know,
Yeah,
where it gets- yeah.
Good dude. Come on, let's cut right to it, bro.
Yeah,
Jackie
yeah.
O's like, oh shit, I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
I knew you were in some shit. I knew you were you.
Yeah. Well, that tape didn't come out to the public for like 5 years after
yeah.
that.
I think it was
So, like,
more than
might
that.
even
It
been
was like-
closer to
Oh
10,
yeah,
10 years.
Early
they were
80s,
like,
one and
no,
a half,
I'm still
late
happy.
60s.
You got to think
Yeah.
that happened in '63, 11/22/63.
Yeah.
And then fucking they were like, guys, it's almost Thanksgiving. And we're not. And then we'll figure it out after that. Honestly, after Christmas, we'll talk about if we're ever going to show America this tape. Because if they never dropped that tape, they should have never dropped that tape. Should have never told us aliens were real. As soon as they said aliens were real, Joe Rogan listeners, 600 million viewers, dude.
Oh,
just
jeez.
Well, that's us. I
subscribe.
mean, we're big UFO guys and shit. I'm a huge UFO fucking freak
fuck
on all
with
that shit.
UFOs
dude.
heavy,
all
but-
that, yeah.
It's one of those things where I tell people, I go, humans are all you need to prove like alien life forms.
Yeah.
I'm like, people act like we're this special exception of like, yeah, we're not weird. I'm like, what?
We're the weirdest.
What, dude?
Uh-huh.
We're weird as fuck, dude. Our layout on our face, dude. We got these perfect ass eyebrows and shit. Some people don't. You'll see people who have like the hair that rides up. Like, we went to school with this kid and they called him Wolfman. That was pretty fucked up. He had a hairy face. He was the man though. You ever talk to that guy? Nicest person in the world. People who go through shit
Gotta
are
lean
nicer
into it.
than you.
Hey, it's the Wolfman.
Wolfman's got a
Yo!
single tear running down his cheek right now. Just going,
He's
God
like,
damn it, I
it's
thought we were.
Teen Wolf, dude. Fuck.
Oh, he's in his 30s.
I know that's why he's Wolfman. No,
Yeah,
he
it's like
grew
the
up.
Steve Buscemi thing in the Adam Sandler movie where he calls him and he's like, just I'm really sorry. I wanted to apologize. I was kind of a dick to you. No, man, just goes, no worries, man. That was a long time ago. And he hangs up and he starts
Crosses
putting on that
name.
lipstick and all that shit.
Crosses him off that
Yeah,
people to
he
kill.
Hey man, I tried to be nice to people in school. I don't know, man. I went through so much shit as a kid. It was I missed the '90s because it really was brutal. The '90s was just
The
like
90s
kids
is crazy,
getting soccer
man.
balls kicked
Yeah.
at
A
them.
little
Dude.
different ball
Dude,
game
you
than how
get-
it is today, yeah.
I was
Wrecked.
picked on hard.
Yeah.
It got so bad that they told, this is real, in elementary school, instead of letting me go out to recess, I had to just like color in the principal's office. Instead of solving the bullying problem, they're just like, well, if you're getting bullied all the time, we'll just like take you out.
You know how much solve this
90s.
bullying
Highlights
problem?
magazine. Why don't you fill this in?
Right?
Comedy.
Quite frankly, we
fine.
went out
I'm
to
fine.
we called out the bully and he beat the shit out of us. Looks like you're gonna have to draw in here with me, okay? Ryan does not fuck around.
Oh,
Well,
God.
now it's like everything's bullying, though. You know, it's like it
That's-
swung too far,
and
and
it's
it's
not
something. You know,
good.
it's like they try to, and it's a real problem. You try to handle it, but now it's you know, it's just like Jesus Christ. Now it's like there's no let them figure it out a little bit. You know,
Oh, yeah, there's no figure it out anymore. We
Yeah.
threw that out the window too fast. We threw that out the window. So they were like, hey man, I mean, if you're saying you feel like you're ET, I mean, I'm just gonna accept it for what it is. And you're like, wait, what? This guy said he was a Nazi 5 minutes ago. Okay, is he a Nazi or is he an extraterrestrial?
Well,
I need to figure out where his loyalties lie.
There's a lot of tie in there too, so
But-
it could be both.
You know, I mean, we're unfortunately. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. 'Cause
What
we
I'm
got it
saying
so
is
good.
Hitler was an alien.
Oh,
guys.
I knew
You
it
heard
was
it
going to
here
get to
first.
this, dude. You
Yep.
pulled out the old book, and I knew there was a.
Whose facial hair grows like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Not a human.
We're bringing in Alex Jones. He's coming in.
Alex Jones walked in dressed like Hitler. He's like, "Oh, I should know this
So,
was a
I gotta
setup."
go as a woman. I can't be within 50 feet of him, like legally.
Oh my God, Alex Jones. Can
My
you imagine?
favorite thing in like the last 20 years, and I didn't even see the whole interview. You watched the whole thing with the Kanye Alex Jones
Oh,
thing.
Jesus
Where
Christ.
Alex
Did you
Jones
guys
like,
watch
Kanye,
that?
let's
Now,
back it off
also,
a
it
little
had
bit.
to be so good though, just to watch Alex
Did you
Jones
guys
go.
see it?
Can you believe this guy said
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
Yeah, when
That's
Alex
crazy.
Jones is the voice of reason in the room, like
I said
Get a little
lot of
crazy
things.
here. He keeps going. It's really lit up in here. Everything's lit up in here today. We got Ye is with us. He's wearing that mask. Did you see it? Kanye's got that full
I know,
mask
it's so
on and the
weird.
fucking coat, that like puffy coat.
I like how he tried to stay relevant. It's getting lit up in here. Look, I'm gonna keep it 100.
We gotta go.
Kanye should not be talking about.
We gotta go to
genocide.
ads, so we gotta cut to ads. Let's get crazy in here, guys.
Oh, it's
And
so
fucking
good.
Kanye did that whole bit with the Yoo-Hoo soda. Like, you guys remember Yoo-Hoo, the chocolate drink? About Benjamin Netanyahu? Like, he had jokes. He had, like, jokes
He's
about
not
the
funny.
Jews and a Yoo-Hoo. And he goes, he's coming in, like, Carrot Top.
Yeah, but anyway, shout out to Kanye for
Yeah.
hiring Chris Rock for the end of Blame Game with John Legend.
Yeah.
That's like the great. But again, Kanye, you're not funny. Look, even if Kanye met me one day and called me out and was like, "Man, I can't believe you said that about me. I love myself." Look, Kanye, you're not funny.
Yeah, but
in
Keep
fairness, Netanyahu is pretty good material. I'm not
Coming
gonna lie.
with those puns.
He bought it, dude. If you think Kanye didn't have ghostwriters, if Drake's got ghostwriters, Kanye got a ghostwriter.
I don't know about early on. See, that's the thing, and I always kind of argue this or whatever. Is those first couple of records are fucking huge, and there was a bunch of funny shit on there.
Oh no,
You
I
know?
don't mean
So,
no. I just mean the Jew thing.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
mean his
No.
anti-Semitic
No, it's
tirade
crazy,
that he's
but, like,
on.
yeah.
That I think he has bought a lot of shit from
Dude,
people just being like, how
unbelievable.
can I just? It's, dude. People just trend right so hard now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's so easy to ride the trend of like being terrible or ride the trend of being great, quote unquote, great.
That dude, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just thinking like I don't know. I think there are some like quote unquote fake far right people. Like my dad,
Oh, yeah.
like he'll say something really far right, but if you're just a little covert about it, you can get him to reverse that stance like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's because he doesn't he's just like, it's like peer pressure.
Yeah,
It's like
there's a lot of that.
bunch of 70-year-old men like acting like 13-year-old girls. Like, I don't know, my friends aren't going to like me
Yeah.
if I don't go to this
And they don't
rally.
hear the other argument, which is usually, not always, but a better argument a lot of the time. So when you make that, oftentimes there, it's kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's
Well,
like,
everything's
how did you
so
not hear that
fucking-
before?
Everything's so divisive and so like you're in camp A or camp B. There's no middle ground. This is the thing
Right.
I always go off on. Like there's no more
Yeah,
gray
yeah.
area. There's no nuance left, and you align with this side of the tribe,
Yeah.
or that side of the tribe, and then you've got to adhere to every bullshit ideal either one has,
Yeah.
or else you're in no man's land by yourself, right?
But-
You're
but I-
ostracized by your crew.
Yeah.
But I also think there is the weird middle ground. Like I think America's gotten
Most
to the
of
point
us
where
are in
like,
the middle. It's just that, like, everybody's
I think
so
we're gonna
loud
get
on the fringes.
we're gonna start wearing jerseys. At a certain point, we're just literally gonna have a home jersey and a away jersey.
Or
And
comic book
You
jerseys.
already know who's gonna have the home jersey. Okay,
You want to know the best argument I did to a fake right-wing guy?
What's that?
I was just like, so you agree that, you know, if a man hits a woman, he's not really a man? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, so you agree that genitalia has nothing to do with gender?
No, but I mean,
Gotcha. Boom. Like,
I think, but to your point though, when you were like, I don't think there's the middle ground. I think it's. I almost feel like it's already gotten to the point where people look at each other and go, "You're not giving a shit too much, right?" And we can kind of look at each other and be like, "No, I would never." Like I like, wait, are you gonna hate me if I say something that relates to anything? And people are like, "No, why the fuck would I do that?" It's very much becoming apparent. And it's weird when it sticks out that much because of, like you said, how divisive it's gotten.
Yeah.
But it's it's weirdly gotten to where I feel like I have no jersey. I mean, come on, the world of Ice and Fire right behind you. If anybody knows about not giving a shit about, having too much loyalty to the wrong faction, it's George R. Martin. Right. Okay, Game of Thrones is built off of being like, hey, no matter who you think is supposed to have the throne, no matter what you think is supposed to happen, life happens. You just get on with it and stop being a little fucker.
Yeah.
Okay? That's why Arya's like the true queen. I can't believe, like, how was Arya not?
Man, this
everything?
guy's dropping all kinds of huge opinions on
Dude, Arya
four
should
years ago.
Arya should have ran the whole thing after
She should have came out on top.
Yeah, dude, it upset me.
I mean,
did
anyone
alright.
but Bran. Jesus.
Okay, that's ableist. Okay, chill out.
No, it's just, if you're
not
not around
cool.
for the majority of the story, I don't think you
Just one
deserve the
season.
glory.
I called that one. That felt like a
That's part of
super
the-
HBO thing to do.
No,
Though,
no,
right?
no.
Oh, they cracked.
I think that for sure, because people kind of forget the first chapter of that fucking series is a Bran chapter.
That's true.
It really
What do you mean,
starts
the
off
first
as
chapter
his story
But George R.
what,
Martin
that-
hated it.
What do you
though,
mean
too.
that
Well,
series?
of the books. The first chapter of the book is Bran getting pushed out the window.
Yeah.
Just kind of like the first
things we do
episode.
for love.
Yeah, but what is the first chapter itself though? Because it's the
It's
the
Bran
soldiers,
chapter.
is it?
Yeah.
Because I know it starts off with
there's
the
a prologue, I think, perhaps.
yeah,
but
because it starts
yeah.
off with the scene in the woods where
Yeah.
the
Well,
dead
that-
happened.
That's in the show, though. I'm talking about.
No, it happens in the book though.
Does it? Well, I can't remember. It's been a long time. I've
That's
read,
I trust me. Hey
Yeah,
man, I read
yeah.
like just the first book and I was like, I'm done here. And then there was the scene with Pedro Pascal. And he was like, I will fight for you. And I was like, I'm reading this shit. And I literally went to it in the book. Like I had it like PDF style. And I was like, yeah, let's see what happens in this fight.
Motherfuckers downloading it.
Pedro
I still get
Pascal!
nightmares. I legitimately get nightmares from the scene where, the mountain crushes his head in, and then the red wedding where like the lady gets stabbed in the stomach. Both of those scenes live
Yeah.
rent free in my head periodically.
Red Wedding isn't in the book
Wedding.
though. Red Wedding doesn't happen like that in the book at all.
Well, it does. It goes
And
down.
Cat comes back. She
Yes,
becomes fucking
that part
Lady
got cut
Stoneheart,
out.
which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
They were like, we're not paying
Which
this bitch.
nothing
and
has-
CGIing her, okay?
Nothing has happened with yet, by the way, in the books. Like it's like one of those like weird like loose
Side stories.
end.
They were like, hey, so Phil wrote this thing about Cat coming back. Are you guys with that, or is that weird as fuck? Yes and yes. Okay, let's do it.
Because I loved Kat. I mean, in a way, she was a stubborn asshole.
Okay,
but still.
let's pick a side.
I was a big
okay?
fan of the character. It was
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
the characters.
liked Rob a lot
Strong-
too.
who doesn't,
Oh,
love,
yeah,
who
everybody
doesn't
loves
love a
all
strong mom though?
Yeah.
Come on, give it up for
Strong
strong
woman.
moms, dude.
Well, what I liked about the series in general is like how they, and that's why I hate the last season, but up until then they had shown like, that people, even like the crappiest people, you can find redeeming qualities. Even the best people, you
Shout
can
out
find
Rick.
parts you really, really like don't morally agree
Yeah.
with. And like they were all very complex like that. And then I felt like the last season, they're just like, we're just going to go, you evil, you good.
Yeah.
And it's just like, God,
They
you just
throw
They
that
just went
season
hold
in, dude.
door. That was the dumbest shit in the world. I'm just gonna
that
say
was
right now.
dramatic as
I like
hell.
it.
Hold
I was a
door
big
shit.
fan of the Hodor story.
Hold the door.
No,
is
dude,
pretty
get
good.
out of here with that hold door shit. Unnecessary. I guarantee when they were writing, as soon as George R. R. Martin was like, "Well, I have the 6th book," they were like, "We're just gonna write every season after this because you guys know when the book ends, right?
Yeah.
The book ends at the treachery, and then what? After book 5,
He's been writing it.
nothing happened.
He ain't been
They've
writing
been
shit.
writing. HBO's been writing.
My
it.
thing
No,
is
George
why-
R. R. Martin.
No,
He's saying he's been writing it for
he's
fucking
not.
ever. But
No, but I'm saying
They're coming. The dragons
I'm
are
saying,
coming.
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying
believe when I
season
see it.
6 through 8 was just some people being like, "Hey, so he hasn't turned shit in, so we're just gonna kind of
Oh, that's
wing it."
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's why it
Yeah.
became just like, what do the fans want? I mean, because it became so just like
Well-
you're always teasing me about comedy because I say you should spoon feed the audience. I'm like, don't
No, do
leave,
that.
don't leave any mystery to them. No. But I'm saying when you really want to get your point across, I'm saying in a brutal way. When I say tank tops to kid fuckers, I'm saying it so brutally down your throat. Here comes the airplane, 9/11. Like I just really go in on it, and I think they really went like that.
So what the thing is they knew how it's supposed to end because George R. R. Martin told them how it's supposed to end, literally in case he dies.
Yeah.
And then it's like there's no source material to work from, like you're saying. So they just started writing it. And without that source material to base anything on, and they were also like, we got to wrap this show up. None of these actors want to do it anymore. The kids are now 30. Just so there's all these things combining, and they were like, we got to crap out this last season quick before fucking,
Already is old enough for us to let someone fuck her on camera. Guys, things have gotten far, okay? No, dude, I mean, it was like, the show felt like George R. R. Martin gave him directions to India, and he was like, get there however you want.
Yes,
they were like, yeah.
yes, correct.
And he was like, you went the right, you were supposed to go
No, these
west.
are Indians now.
If you went west, it'd be so much quicker. And they're like, yeah, but East got us an extra season, even though they were short. hey, who cares if we made you wait 2 years? You fucks. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of bad. I mean, but part of the fucking thing about Game of Thrones was the joy of it was the speculation, and sort of after the parts where it was kind of gets to a point where it's really obvious. Now we know who Jon Snow is. Now we know who this is. A lot of people are dead now. We can see where this is going to go now.
Oh, yeah.
And so you lose part of the joy of before. It was like, Littlefinger's going to do this. And you could just speculate. I mean, there's fan theories that are, for all those years, that was the fun of it. And then once that kind of went away, I think everybody was just kind of like, all right, let's fucking wrap it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
There's a few
absolutely.
relationships where I would say like they just like completely like changed their trajectory. Not even so much as like made it more obvious. It's like Brienne of Tarth, right? And her and Jaime's relationship. It like was one like of like disgust, and then it became like a lovey-dovey thing. But then it was just respect, and then they were on that respect level,
And then they
fuck you. And like I was just like, this is absolutely not what their relationship is about at all. 1, 2, she would not cry about him like that. Are you kidding me right now? And then Jaime getting back with Cersei and completely portraying Brienne and all of that, being an evil dude after he'd done all that growth.
was never
that doesn't
keeping
make any
Brienne.
sense.
Yeah.
He was never keeping that
See, I
big
kind
bitch,
of like
okay?
some of that stuff though, because it's almost, I don't know, like the whole backslide into like being the true piece of shit that he always kind of was.
That's what Game of Thrones is.
Kinda real, yeah.
Game of
like
Thrones
it's,
is
You back now.
it's like you
you're
kind
you're
of
safe
change
again.
your tune for a little bit and start to morph into this better person for a period.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like you kind of are who you are, and if that's that ingrained in you, you're gonna go back to what you
I
know.
guess, but
I don't know.
to me, it was like a really, really complex like cake batter, right? And then they just put like shitty icing on top, and I'm like,
that was the
yes,
whole
this
show, though.
this is the icing that I wanted. You know what I mean? Like it's fatty and stuff, but
Right.
it's not complex and rich like the cake, and that's kind of what the last season was just
Yeah, for
shitty
sure.
icing.
It just felt
Yeah.
like Kim Kardashian going back to Kanye, which will happen. That's gonna happen. She's gonna be like, "Look, I know he said that stuff.
You heard
about
it
the
here
Jews.
first."
I know he said that stuff about
The
the
fact
Jews,
that he
but-
reproduced is terrifying because like Game of
He had to
Thrones
make a Kanye
tie-in,
North
right?
and
He's
a
like
South
the
and a
Mad
East.
King, and we got to be
Right.
worried about his little brats.
This little minion of mini yays running around 20 years.
That's very
Everything.
terrifying.
I needed it.
She doesn't seem like a very present mother that could like prevent that from happening.
Okay, hot takes. Okay, chill out
Well,
over
she's
there.
rich. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, she's
I
rich.
could never get into
Oh.
Kanye specifically because he's like the biggest narcissistic douchebag in the world. I could
Yeah.
never even give his music a chance, which usually like I separate the art from the artist, but that guy, it's like
a
you gotta
lot.
get the fuck
Can't
over
blame you.
yourself.
Those
Can't
first
blame
2
him at all.
records.
Oh, I'll let you
Yeah,
know
this
right
guy's
now. I'll let you know right
big
now,
early
man.
Ye
I'm
fan.
glad I got into Kanye. You know, I'm glad I got into Cosby before all the allegations. You know, sometimes you got to be glad you swept in.
Yeah.
I don't watch Cosby at all because I can't respect a stand-up comic that sits. And at the end of the day, it's called stand-up. If it
He's
was called
old.
sit down, no, dude, he was doing
Was
it
he doing
young.
that back in the day?
He was doing it
Yeah,
young,
okay,
dude. Don't
alright.
do it now that you're fucking tired from raping. But like.
Those
yeah.
legs are weak, man.
My
Well, yeah,
legs
because
are so-
they're not on top.
Oh man.
Too soon. Wow, that was really a banger right there. No,
You would
but
bang her?
dude, no, I mean, but dude, I love doing comedy though, and I'm glad you guys have been so amazing, like conversation wise, because I mean, I didn't know what I could or couldn't say, but I mean,
We don't give a fuck.
I love this.
You got a hat with the city you live in. I just was like, okay, Detroit rules, baby. We're just gonna talk about it. Okay.
This hat, you got to tell the
There's a whole
hat
story
real
about.
quick. It's pretty fucking.
I don't
funny.
even remember exactly, but we used to hit this liquor store. We still do, and before we were doing the podcast, like we'd go get some food, hit this liquor store, and he's got all these fucking Grand Rapids hats, and they're like $30 each. And I go, "Hey man, I want to get this hat, but like I'm not paying $30 for it." And he's like, "I got you, bro," and he's like $10.
Nice, and that's bro. As soon as you said the $30 thing, I was like, this nigga got a $10 hat.
It just
As soon as you said it, I was like, he was like, bro, stop.
It just got unpacked. That's why I'm wearing it. We've been unpacking and shit here, and because the weather was getting nicer today, I've been wearing like the beanie cap and shit. And I was like, I needed to. Oh yeah, I got the G-Rap hat back. So she's
that's
out.
dope, man. I love it. I mean, because hey, man, like I said, I'm from Detroit, so
Yeah.
I walk into a place and I know I'm in the city that somebody's hat says. I'm like, oh, this shit just got real.
Yeah, the Grand Habitat's pretty fucking funny.
I'm like, this guy's got a 40 ounce of something sitting somewhere. That's all I know right now.
There may or may
He's
not
like,
be
what
Jolly
are you
Ranchers.
talking about? He goes in his room and just pets it under his bed. Nobody will
Got
ever
the
find
Steelers
you.
there, bro.
Nobody will ever find you.
45.
Yeah, it's a fucking red dog. Nobody will ever find you.
Yeah, we had a comedian who was like kind of trying to get on, and she was like, as long as you guys aren't too raunchy, and we were like, get the fuck out of here.
No, son. You can't be.
I said to him, I don't want to talk to anybody who uses the word raunchy.
Raunchy, yeah, for sure.
Which is
Especially-
kind of a principle thing, right? Because it's not. I mean, you guys have been on. Like, this is
Yeah.
kind of what it's not raunchy, It's not like it's.
I mean, if she wanted,
Whatever,
you got to be able to say whatever you're gonna say.
I would like to think that what she was asking is like, you guys aren't going to be weird to me, right? Like, and it's just like, that's a different question, though.
yeah.
But also-
And also, they're not going to answer that if they are. So why ask them?
I don't want to go anywhere with like a rapey vibe.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'm not going to take you to my brother's house. Wow, okay. You didn't have to say it
Welcome
like
to the Bill
that.
Cosby Show.
No, but the fucked up thing is, I totally get why you would be like, I don't know, because you're already like, I think people, and this might be a hot take for some stupid reason, but people should absolutely speak up for themselves and know that you can now. Like, if anything, if you're ever feeling weird or uncomfortable, say some shit. There's so many people feeling weird or uncomfortable. Comedy proves that. When I stand on a stage and say some dumb shit about how Casey Anthony should sell car cleaner because she does it best, it hits. And then I go, oh, if I said something in front of all you, like it's like in the movies where the villain will start fighting Spider-Man and then they're like, we'll beat your ass too, just for Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I also feel like yes, I think in an ideal world everybody sticks up for themselves, but I do think that as a kid, even I mean, if you're really over the age of 20 something, even it's just it's been conditioned in you to be polite, to go with the flow, to be the least controversial you can when you're in social situations. It's so ingrained that when you become afraid, your instincts, which is the stuff you learned when you were younger, really take over. And so I feel like people I don't know, that's why to me, when I see a girl that's being uncomfortable, I just go over there and go full goblin mode and just make the guy feel real
Well, I
uncomfortable.
think especially too, being in Michigan, kind of that Midwest vibe, just be nice, be polite, don't rock
that's-
the boat.
Precisely.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's
that
kind of
shit,
ingrained
man.
in the
It's the
culture.
giving tree, man. Are you gonna be the stump? Are you gonna be the fucking stump? I tell people that all the time. I was at a Airbnb, and at a certain point I was drunk enough to find myself teaching girls the weak points of attacking a guy if he comes on to you weird. I was like, no, dude, if you take the nuts if you take your knee and just right into the nuts, he's done. And all these girls are like, yeah, left and a two and a left and all these college girls, because she was like, my kickboxing coach says to, and I was like, that's so he can assault you in the back room. Okay, he's your first victim. Okay, you've got to get him before you get anybody
there's
else.
one piece of info you need to know, and it's knee the dude in the fucking balls. That's kind
Ladies,
of a game ender
for
right
all
there
of the
most
female
part, yeah.
listeners of this podcast that don't exist, you need to. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey.
I'm just kidding.
They
You
don't seem
count.
creepy.
You don't count. Okay, you don't. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we
But
haven't gotten
seriously,
to the after show.
knee
Oh,
the yeah. No, seriously, just
Oh, no.
knee the nuts. I tell everybody knee the nuts. My little brother was like, "What do I do if somebody tries to take knee the nuts?"
the nuts.
What do you
Let
say?
me
You
save
punch
you
those nuts.
$200 on self-defense
Yeah. If
courses.
you're short,
the end.
you just punch somebody's nuts until they cry
Start a
and
self-defense
can't open their eyes.
program called Need a Nuts,
Need a nut.
Knee the nuts, dude.
It was the only
Buy
move
my
Johnny
class.
Cage
It's
used
just
to
called
dominate
knee
Mortal
two
Kombat.
nuts.
Year
Two
now,
nuts.
dude.
It's called
With the
knee
two.
nuts. Yeah, with the
Sorry,
two
nuts.
behind it, like double dragon. Knee two nuts.
Nuts with a Z.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Nuts with a Z, dude. Knee two nuts. And literally, dude,
Shaky camera angle.
We're just doing Tony Robbins fucking commercials in a year. Hey, if you guys want to get in on that, I'm down, dude. Knee to nuts is happening.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're gonna
Me
do
too.
jujitsu fucking guy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Seriously.
We should do that as a skit, really, is what we should fucking
Dude,
do. That as
we're
a
putting together.
YouTube,
We are putting together a writing crew and like a skit crew. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have so many skits written out. Like I've got a whole series written out that I'm not gonna ruin on air, but I'll tell you after.
I got a
So
green
you guys
screen
just-
whole setup and shit.
Really?
Get
We
in on
can
that
make
green
the shit.
screen,
We
yeah.
and you can we can
Actually,
collab
yes.
so well.
This is the crew. This is the
fucking
crew
hilarious,
here.
man.
This is the crew.
We just Natalie Wood her real fast, and then we're just good to go.
Oh.
Do you know who Natalie Wood is?
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it! Oh, that's terrible.
Oh my God! Did we take my car here?
Oh, no!
Ooh,
She Natalie
too
Woods
bad,
me.
too
She
bad.
Natalie Woods me. Oh. She's like, we're going on a boat trip. I'm like, no, please don't. No.
Sorry. How many skits have you produced?
No, we're going back. No, but seriously, dude, we're going to New York. We're going to New York now because one comedian, I do want to shout him out because he's amazing.
Yeah.
John Tutt. John Tutt on Instagram is dude. He went out to he's old military, and well, he's not old military. He's like a fucking 30-year-old black dude, but he straight up just started doing comedy, and he left his place and he got a place out in Brooklyn, and now he's got his own show.
Nice.
And we're gonna hit up one of his shows.
Absolutely.
We want to go to Austin. We were talking about that at dinner.
Oh my
We
God,
gotta
I
get
would
on a
love to
fucking-
go.
Let me know, dude. If you
Yeah,
guys set up an
no.
Austin trip,
Well, that's what we were talking
Road
about.
trip.
It's like, we'll just all road trip down, just get like an Airbnb outside of town.
one
and just,
dude.
like,
Well, I mean, come
book
on, let's
shows
drive
overnight
or
and-
let's fly it, man. Come on, let's not
whatever,
do this
yeah,
to
yeah.
us. Let's come on. We got things to do.
No, you
It'll
don't.
take 6 days.
But you don't got to lie about it. You ain't got shit to do.
I unfortunately do, man. I wish, man. I wish. But no, well, the funny thing is, I did a show at Ridley's. Mark Ridley's out in Royal Oak, and this kid saw me live, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to go to Texas? We're going to kill Tony." And I was like, "What?"
Yes.
And he's like, "Hey, man, like, just
You boys
get
like
a ticket."
Mexico?
He's
Yeah.
like, "We got a bunch of tickets for Kill Tony," and I was like, I was sad because I couldn't go because I was like, real life, you know.
Fuck that.
But hey, man, it happens, dude. Hey, I
Fuck
was 27 once. You think I didn't go to Colorado and then just find myself for fun? Dude, I went to Colorado with my buddy. And, at one point, we drive down out to Colorado. We drive to Boulder, and we drive there with these two ladies from Ohio. And they were like, we were supposed to stay there for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they go, we're leaving Saturday morning. And we're like, okay, that fucks up everything. That's cool, though. And my buddy was like, screw it, man. We'll just buy plane tickets and just fly home.
Yeah.
After, because we were unfortunately going to see like jam bands. We were seeing Pigeons playing ping pong and twiddle.
Oh, amazing.
All those guys are just in Detroit. Or,
What do you mean
Grand
amazing?
Rapids.
Which one? Pigeons?
Just
or-
playing ping pong, yeah.
Nice, nice.
I never heard of either of those bands.
They were just at Interscope.
It was just it was just like jam band stuff, just funky ass dudes playing stuff. Twiddle was like Dave Matthews if Dave Matthews didn't sound like he was trying to be a joke of himself.
And didn't have the same fan base.
If they were just not trying to sound
love
like
me some
complete
Dave.
morons.
He's South African.
I love me some
Cut him
Dave
slack.
Matthews. Hey, dude, I made a joke. I love Dave Matthews so much that I was watching porn once and I saw a girl with a Dave Matthews Band tattoo.
That tattoo.
Shout out Sierra Sky.
nutted immediately.
Shout out Sierra Sky. And I was like,
Oh, his rips are so
like,
crunchy.
I was like, what do you think? What do you think was more embarrassing? What do you think was more embarrassing? Her parents being like, "Oh, we saw you in a porn," or being like, "Is that a Dave Matthews Band tattoo?"
Definitely the Dave Matthews Band tattoo. The
We
first
had
one's
a-
Industrious.
How dare you? How dare you satisfy 6 black men with a Dave Matthews Band tattoo on you?
We had fucking weeks of jokes in the news shit that was about. You guys remember when Dave Matthews Band fucking opened up their
Dumped the
shitter on the
subject?
bus? Dude, we were going off about that for like fucking weeks. I'm good. Keep hitting it, whoever. Take her down.
You can put it out, but yeah, no, I remember that, man. Dude, because Dave Matthews drops that hot shit. Okay, that's really what it boils down to.
Yes.
Shitting on audience with both the absurd ticket
Yeah,
prices
dude.
as well as the tour bus. and
Dave
stuff.
Matthews took a hot shit all over Chicago, and you're like, whoa.
Dumped all
I don't
over
want to
that
hear about his
boat.
album release.
It'd be a Snapchat, bro. It'd be a Snapchat like clickbait all day. Dave Matthews just took a shit on Chicago, and you're like, what, dude? Click, click, click. What?
What's his latest concert? What?
Dude, Dave Matthews. I actually skipped a Dave Matthews Band concert. I've never seen him live. I bought tickets for my birthday when I was like 16. and my mom just like pissed me off, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna run away from home. I think that's how this works. I'm just not gonna show
went
up
to
at home.
the Dave show though, dude. That's where you
No,
run to.
but
What are
I
you
did
doing?
it, and this is the funny thing. Like my mom was like, "Where are you at?" She was like, "We can go to the Dave Matthews Band concert." So, and I was like, honestly, mom. And then I just said the most metal shit ever. I said, "Fuck Dave Matthews." I was like, "I'm not going to that show, and I'm not coming home. I'll possibly never see you again."
Single tier Dave Matthews.
Yeah, exactly, dude. He turns around like that Native American, just drops one.
Actually, the longest walk I've ever taken in my life was I went on a date
go
with
see
this.
Dave
Yeah,
Matthews.
you know. So I should have known better. But like, you know, you're like 20 something, and there's a guy that's playing an acoustic guitar at a restaurant,
Oh yeah.
and you're like.
Game
Yeah,
under, right?
yeah,
For sure.
game on. And but we went back to his
Singing
place,
Crash.
and oh my god, yes, he proceeds to do a bunch of Dave Matthews and a bunch of like what's yeah,
Is at
and then
that
your
point
body
you're
is a
like-
wonderland. Oh, John Mayer and a bunch
Oh,
of John
yeah.
Mayer
Oh, yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
And then he proceeds to tell me that they're his two biggest musical influences, and I'm like, whoa, and I'm like, hey, do you have a bathroom? And then,
Crowd climbing out the
comment
window.
and then
Up the
I walked
panties.
in the middle of downtown Lansing. I'm like, I'm just walking. I know where the Capitol is. It'll be fine.
It's like, can you imagine if like Dave Matthews died and like John Mayer had to be the lead singer? It'd be crazy, right?
Nobody
You're
would
like,
know a difference.
It's just like Campbell soup all over you.
I think I lost 5 years of my life listening to that sentence. Thanks, Floyd.
That's what you did. I'm not gonna lie, I was with a girl and she loved the fact that I had the Dave Matthews Band album Crash, and I was like, this isn't gonna work.
Well, that's when you can do your really rude things.
You should just like the song too much, and then I should turn off the album.
You know what? Gravedigger's okay.
The fact you treat
That's
it
a
like a
great song.
playthrough.
I do
Gravediggers
that
are really. I like
Gravediggers-
Gravediggers.
I'm a big Crash album
I
fan.
love
No,
Dave
no,
Matthews.
no,
There's shit on
Crash
him.
rips. No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you can't be too into it. You gotta be able to.
no,
You gotta
I'm
be able
not.
to stay away from the Dave.
Well, we were just
You can't
telling.
be all DMB, okay?
Yeah.
I'd rather be
There's
you on
difference.
DMT than DMB at all times.
I'm
We were
not getting
talking
a
about
tattoo
this-
on my ass.
Right. Well, there's certain bands. It's like they're fine in moderation, but like if that's your number one thing, it's
Yeah.
like really weird. Like Clutch. I was just saying, I will
Oh,
never.
agreed.
If there's a guy that's
Yeah.
really into Clutch,
man. Oh,
he is
no.
gonna
To
definitely
me,
no.
punch your
Yeah.
walls.
And I
He's the
love
kind of guy that
Yeah,
punches
for sure.
walls.
Yeah,
That
and
says
I-
a lot about
Straight
the person.
up.
I
Yeah.
love like metal and like bluesy and like jamsy shit.
Right, I
So
like
when
Clutch.
she said it though,
I don't-
when she said it though, I was like,
Not
oh
into
no,
Clutch.
because I put myself in a woman's place and I was like, oh no, I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine listening to Clutch like
Dude.
with a vagina.
Yep.
If I walked into a house and somebody's like, I see you rolling in, the tide is high.
They're
I'd be like,
another
what
one.
the fuck is happening
I've
right
been
now?
forced to see live, but because they constantly were opening for all of my other favorite
Yes.
bands.
Absolutely,
And so it's
absolutely.
like I
They must
fucking
have a hell of
can't
a
stand
dealer.
Clutch, and I'm like,
Okay, you guys, Ariana Grande, but first,
here's Clutch.
You're
We're
like,
gonna get sludgy.
yeah,
Ironically,
damn
Clutch
it,
is anything
Clutch.
but live. Like
Yeah.
not my
Yeah.
deal. Not very good.
People say
Oh,
that
dude.
same thing about Tool though, and you know about being this fucking you're obsessed with Tool, and Tool does have these fans, and so I get
Yeah.
lumped into that too. Oh, you know, and it's like
But they are kind of a more like
and Clutch,
nerdy because they also have a nerd appeal. Like if you're just like a musician's musician,
Oh,
they should
yeah.
have a certain appeal too. So they're a little bit different in that regard, where you
That's
can
the
have
thing.
And-
Like, you
and
can
not
make
as
the
many-
the
argument for-
non-musician fans. I think
Yeah.
we can say that stereotype's true.
Even if you're a Tool guy, like
Dude,
Tool versus
no,
Clutch.
but-
come
No,
the
I'm
fuck
not
out.
comparing
Clutch
those.
numbers, yeah.
What I'm
Tool
saying
numbers
is-
and Clutch numbers. I
when
mean,
you get too
dude,
into it though,
Tool-
people get obsessed. Like, oh, dude, Humphreys McGee, they're the only thing worth listening to,
Fucking-
bro.
Yeah.
So we were
Jesus
driving
Christ.
through rural Indiana, and I just looked around. I'm like, wow, you really hear the Humphreys McGee in the distance. We're just
Wow,
rolling.
that's
So,
right.
our buddy, so we always said this about our buddy that was on last week, right? Like everybody loves Alice in Chains to some degree, and you should love Alice in Chains.
You're the
He
rooster, man.
really loves
This dude
Alice
loves
in
his
Chains,
chains,
dude.
man.
Like, everything within moderation.
He's like, we talking about AIC? Literally, I say that he just pops out of your vent. You talking about AIC, dude? What's
you guys
happening?
talking about
It says
chains?
AIC.
Yeah.
Does anyone
You
people
guys
say
talking about AIC, dude? It's not
the
happening
response
right
is
now.
like, yeah, they're chill. It's the end, you know?
Dude, I'm so hyped I can't even say it. Like, there's a couple extra syllables. You're like,
Turd is
there's
a masterpiece,
one.
bro.
There's one, dude.
Fireflies.
Alice in Chains.
When they
dude,
went
4
acoustic
syllables.
on Charflies, like,
So
There's
there's
that whole so I gotta jump in real quick because I was just watching. There's that whole episode. You ever seen This Is 40? It's like the
Yeah,
it's
yes,
got
I
Avatar.
love-
Yeah, it's a super funny flick. It's like the unofficial sequel
Yeah.
to Knocked Up, basically.
Yeah.
But there's this scene where like, so Paul Rudd's he runs a record label, and his wife's bitching because they're not making any money, and they're playing like some kind of Katy Perry dance stuff or whatever, and her and like the two daughters are getting after it, and then Paul Rudd's like, all right, but let me show you something that really rocks, and throws in a rooster from Alice in Chains. Like, you can dance to this, he's just doing the super like old school grunge rock.
Looking at your feet.
Yeah, she always shits on Pearl Jam, and I think it's hilarious.
Dude, I hate it.
They're for
Oh,
sure
no,
shit.
see,
on
lad.
Never
It's like,
Do you
okay.
remember Adam Sandler? Hey, Miss Woman, he had that whole bit about it back on SNL.
It is
dude.
ridiculous. They were like, hey, how much can we not say real words?
No, absolutely
Again,
don't.
first 3 records. First record's great. The next 2 are pretty damn good. After that, it's just a shit show. I can't fucking get
that's
down.
a
on it.
lot of
But
great
then
bands,
again,
yeah.
it's just it's like if you like them or if you're obsessed with them, and for some reason those could be very 2 different things
Absolutely.
with,
Yeah.
when it
2
comes to
different things,
stereotypes of people.
Obsessed with Pearl Jam guys, very specific.
Well, that's the
Dude,
thing.
it's-
Honestly, obsessed with just already scares me. Like, I think that's
yeah,
what
that's true.
I
the
think.
kind of guy that
Unfortunately,
counts the amount of times you've been to their shows. That's the level.
no, but now now people get so obsessed, and I think that's what fucks people up.
Yeah.
Because now your loyalties are dumb.
Oh yeah, now
You're like, dude, I don't know what to fucking tell you. I would die for Crocs. And you're like, that's not how dying for things works. And they're like, dude, I'll tell you right now, dude, my mom ever talks shit about Crocs, I'll beat the fuck out of her. And you're
Dude,
like, get your life together.
That's not a new phenomenon.
I will
though.
not
that
talk
scares
shit
me.
about Crocs. Like, if you are wearing Crocs in my presence, there is a 100% chance
Yeah.
I'm talking shit about you to your face.
Yeah.
I don't actually care that you're wearing them, but there's no way you're not going to get fucking mocked on.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like, it's
You're-
happening.
You're an astronaut that's going to a wet planet.
There's too much free
Why do
will
you have
going
those
on here.
your
I don't
feet?
like it. No.
You're
I've
in
heard nothing
Walmart.
but great things about Crocs. In fairness, they're
Oh,
supposed
yeah,
to
but
be
you
made
haven't
on
dipped
the
in, have
height
you?
of
They
I've
do
heard-
have
I
Crocs
think
that don't look like
never
Crocs,
worn.
and I own a
Which
pair of
is-
those.
No. Just no.
Every-
Just no
Speaking
to
of
all.
guys with a vibe, I'm gonna say it. I'm a Birkenstock guy. That's all I wear in the fucking summer.
Wow. Those are
quality
Give me
shoes.
Wow,
Birks, baby.
dude.
Let me hit that.
Showing up to that Dave
I couldn't tell
concert.
by your
With my
perfectly
accused
waxed
good
beard
guy.
that you would have Birkenstocks. I was like, no way, you.
So to be clear, and in my defense, I'm a I got a haircut for the first time the other day.
Was it next to LL Bean?
What do you put in your? What do you put in? This is a Target T-shirt right here, flannel. She's like, what do you put in your hair? She's like, do you do this to your beard? Do you use oil? I'm like, I'm a fucking savage. If I remember to brush my teeth,
Really? You just come out of the womb like that? This is like a Gillette
I don't do
commercial?
a fucking thing. My hair, it's all flipped up. There's no product.
He
I
just
use the
wakes up
shampoo,
straight
got
Rin
out,
Tin
like,
Tin in this bitch, dude. He's like, get my dog, dude. I solve mysteries and shit, dude.
I'm
We are
usually a
out
savage.
here,
I'm usually
dude.
rocking a neck beard, fucking hair down to here.
Dude, I think
Oh, no,
I think the
you
hair
you
flip
look
is
like
the
you were
ultimate
drawn
flex.
today.
No.
If you get the Superman flip, dude, if you dyed
I
your hair
noticed
black
that.
one
Literally,
day,
first thing I said to him today, I was like, "You got a haircut?"
Yeah.
it's your flip.
It just no, bro. I get out of the shot. Like it does its thing. I'm too. I didn't brush
There's
my
so
hair
much
since
volume.
Mid-80s. It's not too bad. It's hanging out all right for.
No,
for
it's pretty
38.
boss. It's pretty boss, dude.
Gosh.
Shout out to
son
your
of a
hair
bitch.
flip.
Shout out to
Apparently,
you, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like an asshole because I feel like I look like a guy trying to do a hair flip, but it's really just like
It's all natural.
You
I
gotta
get it.
just look at
I'm
people and be like,
I'm that guy right now.
I get it. I look like the kind of girl that puts salt water in my hair when it's in the summer and it's all humid. It's like,
Yeah.
no, this
Is
is
that
glorious
a thing? I
mane.
never heard of that.
Oh yeah, you put
that's why
you
she looks like
curl
the
it
girl
all.
that would do it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm one pair of Oakleys and an Izod T-shirt away
Oh,
from being
God.
like every early 2000s guy ever.
Your PC principal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go to Mumford and Sons every time they're in town.
He goes Mumford and Sons, and he goes, honestly, it should be Mumford and Daughters, but I guess I'll accept it for now. Yeah, and you're like, okay, dude,
Choose-
chill out.
My this is all you have to know about my brothers. Their favorite show is Home Improvement and Psych.
Oh, yeah.
And their favorite band is Mumford and Sons. Like they
Hey, don't
like you
talk
know
shit
who they
about
are
the show
now.
Psych, because there were some good episodes, okay?
Also, let's give Home Improvement its day in court.
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
fair, if you
okay.
don't like
Oh.
some Home Improvement,
Again,
believe
one of
the
those things.
disrespect?
we're talking Wilson over the fence, dropping that epic life knowledge.
I am not saying that. I am saying that I wouldn't buy the DVD box set and continue to watch them to this day.
Yeah.
Touche.
No.
Yeah,
Not
that's
unless
fair.
I
It
love-
hold up very well.
I used to go whoo 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 with my dad all the time. That's our thing. More power.
The DVD
that was
box
the
set.
noise.
So, all right, for Christmas, my mom asked for a DVD set of Vikings, which I watched a little
Touche.
bit. Great show. But
feel
the
weird about
act
my
of
mom.
buying DVDs is so weird now, and like I'm ordering that shit off Amazon. They got some dusty ass
Hey,
room in the
yeah.
basement, like some corded phone in the corner ring. So like, Jim, we got one down here. Like, it's the first
Somebody
fucking
wants you to
DVD.
go into the
You know-
depths of 26B, okay, and get an episode of Psych out of there.
See, I have a bunch of DVDs though because there's been times in my
Yeah.
life, but for whatever reason,
I got my collection I can't get rid of. I've pared them down.
never.
I got a bunch of killer box sets and shit too, and it's like
I've got spindles of burned bootleg DVDs from
Yeah.
a phase
Well,
my
dude.
dad went
I got
where
a lot
that
of
was his hobby. Was
P90X
burning
burned.
DVDs.
Well,
Talking about
once
stacks of movies.
they like gave it to us like in its true format, I was done. I was like, dude, I grew up off VHS. You think this DVD doesn't look good enough for me?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
Blu-ray, I'm always like, why am I here?
Yeah.
This is the
Right.
same TV I
Yeah.
was watching Pulp Fiction on a week ago.
right.
I don't know how to tell you this. They both look the fucking same to me.
Yeah.
You know?
I just
No-
can't bear to part with some of my shit. I'm like looking at it. I'm like,
Right.
I mean, you can see I got a lot of fucking shit, but yeah, I've got rid. I pared them down and I pared them down again, and every time I'm like, I can't
There's
get rid of
one-
this copy. Of
so-
Matrix trilogy. Original fucking DVDs.
You know, one of the ones I hold sacred is for such a stupid reason. So, like, there was a time in my life where I was so broke that I was like paying like $400 to rent, and that was tough. Like, I was that broke,
And then
and
shout out $400
For real.
rent.
right.
We've all
And
been
so
there.
all I wanted to do was watch a Christmas movie, like for the Christmas break. And so I saved up like what I got in like the clearance bin
you
was
go.
Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Oh Jesus Christ!
And like I have to watch it every year. It keeps me humble.
I didn't even know they made
love
that.
I fucking love it.
Ooh, that's rough going.
Dude,
Oh, it's hilarious.
Christmas
Actually,
Eve.
shout out Harold and Kumar
Harold and Kumar.
Christmas. Also filmed in Troy, Michigan, a
Was
lot of it.
Yeah, I never saw anyone but the first one, the original, the White
nice,
Castle. You know?
nice.
Classic. Both it feature Neil Patrick Harris, you know.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. My boy NPH.
That was like what brought him back, dude. Was that fucking movie?
Yes.
Like
He was talking about
Doogie
Neil Patrick.
Howser.
and then they're
'Cause I
like,
remember-
he's not
How I
Judy.
Met
Everyone.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
watching it, and the first thing we all said was, Doogie fucking Howser.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember watching Doogie Howser as a kid and being like, dude, you really can do anything.
You
dude.
watched Doogie Howser as a kid?
Bitch, everybody
Doogie
watched
Howser.
Doogie Howser.
Doogie
What are you
God, you
talking
guys are
about
all
right
It
now?
was on right between Home Improvement and
Literally,
Yeah.
only 1 year younger than me. Everybody was watching Doogie Howser.
Oh, yeah.
This kid was saving
He was
not
an
lives
even one year.
inspiration.
on the regular. And you really think America wasn't tuning in?
He was a kid doctor, goddammit.
He was like, I'm gonna do everything I can, even
was
though I'm
television
16
gold.
and I gotta go to school.
Was it on? I don't know. I didn't have cable as a kid. Was it
I
on?
could tell
It
because
was
you
on.
didn't watch Doogie Howser. You tried
yeah,
to
maybe
put it
that's
on
why I
me.
didn't have
ABC,
cable.
You tried to put it on me.
Yeah, because I would think it's.
I never watched it either. To be fair, I never watched it. Fuck
And
it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went in so hot. I went in so aggressive on Doogie Howser.
Doogie
It's got a
Howser
lot of
stinks.
Neil Patrick Harris
That's
loyalty.
an
I'm
odd hill
sorry.
to die on.
It's the oddest
I'll go to
hill
the
to-
fucking. I'll go to the
Dude,
wall for
This is what the
Doogie
internet
Howser.
has made me, dude. Social media has
I would
ruined
carry
me.
their children. I love Neil Patrick
Doogie or
Harris.
Hausers. Yeah. Neil Patrick or
I'd be that
Harris.
Virgin
is-
Mary for them.
Neil Patrick and
do it.
Harris are all names.
Right.
He's in all these huge movies now too, like as a real actor. It's
He
wild.
was in the shitty new Matrix.
Yes, he
the
is. Yeah.
Was it Insurrect? I don't even fucking remember.
I tried to watch it. It was garbage.
It was
that
just
was like
trash.
this
Were-
Matrix.
Were you an
Sucks.
original Matrix guy?
Of course. dude.
Yes.
Who
I
was
haven't
it? I
seen the
watched it
newest
on
one, though.
VHS.
Okay.
I
I've gotta
enjoyed
say
parts
this.
of it, but
Okay.
yeah.
Matrix, I've never talked to chicks that like the Matrix. Universally,
It's a
there's
very
like, it's a
guy-
dude's
Oh,
movie.
no.
Are you a Matrix fan?
Yes,
It
I'm a
sounds like.
Matrix
This is
fan.
okay, thank
Okay.
you. This is redeeming. I don't know. I fucking love
I mean, it
it.
makes sense. They're
I-
like
No,
a world.
I mean I'm a big sci-fi fantasy person, and so that's why.
We have seen fucking Matrix. I don't even untold amounts.
It's like a world
Yeah.
where we can imagine
Also-
things that work out for us. Wow.
I have a very,
Sounds like a thing
I have a
woman
very
has.
sci-fi
Yeah.
fantasy family, thankfully, and so
yeah.
no, me and my brothers watched The Matrix together, like the whole trilogy, dozens of times together.
It's just
It's
the
great.
best.
Yeah,
Hundreds
yeah,
of
it's a
times.
One
good
of the
I've seen
one.
most
that fucking
epic
movie.
day we had. So it was like right around college time
Yeah.
was when the new Matrix 3 was coming out.
Yeah.
So we went through the first two Matrixes, or Matrices, if you will.
Matrices. Okay, it's called
Matrix-
Run.
They call the
Animatrix,
fans
right.
Matrides.
We're watching the Animatrix in sequence, fucking spliced in between.
Animatrix,
the
Animatrix Animatrix is
dude.
so
Before going
good,
to see
dude.
the third one.
That's a good one.
I still have
And I
that
don't even
on
like
DVD.
anime like that, but I like the
I'm not either,
Animatrix.
but it's amazing.
Animatrix
Yeah, I
so
like that,
well
yeah.
done.
That's one of my DVDs I
That's
can't get
solid.
rid of.
Dude, it was like Love, Death, and Robots before Love, Death, and
Oh, well,
Robots.
half of the
Yes.
people on that
You know?
show were people that made Animatrix.
Oh, really?
And the guys that produced that show literally say, like, yeah, we kind of wanted to like do like an anime. We were like obsessed with the Animatrix back in the day.
Yeah, dude, it was amazing.
Huge
It's so good,
soundtrack
dude.
as well. Animatrix
Yeah,
soundtrack.
dude, the Animatrix.
My DVD kit came with the CD was like part of it, and then the DVD, and somebody stole the CD. So all these years I've had like the box that it went in with no CD to go in it, and I finally threw it away.
One time somebody showed me
I
an
know.
empty version of Tool's Solival
Yeah.
DVD set.
That's-
they were
that
like, "Oh, I
sucks.
have that," and I was like, "Oh man, you should let me see that." And they pulled it out, and they were like,
No
I
discs
don't have
in
the
that.
discs
Yeah,
anymore."
that's
And I was
tough.
like,
That's a tough
I literally just vomited all over the place. It was gross.
Those things are super.
I didn't even clean it up.
collectibles.
Honestly, fuck them, dude.
Even just the fucking case though is
get
probably
over it.
worth some fucking money. Of those.
But
things.
just seeing it, like holding it in my hands, because
Yeah.
I've already seen all the videos. I've
Yeah.
listened to all the music, but like to just hold it, and I was like, "Oh, this is
Oh
brutal."
yeah, I still
for
got
you.
my original copy.
And they were like, "Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna like throw it away." And I was like, "You might as well. It's garbage."
No,
It's a hole in the heart. Yeah, you got to keep what you
Nothing.
can.
Keep that.
You know? It's like you
Yeah.
got to salvage what
No,
you
I'm
can
just
from that
kidding.
past
There might be somebody else
relationship.
out there that has the discs but no case.
There you go.
And
Yeah,
so
and
you
then
can
they
put that
just
shit up
fall
on
in love.
eBay for half price.
They're
or
just
whatever,
standing at a Tool concert, just waving their arms
Who's got
around. Oh, yeah.
By the way,
that's
the
what a real
new
Tool
Tool
concert.
show. I know you said you've seen them. I don't know if you've seen the most recent tour, but the fucking stage show, and they've always had an amazing stage show. But
I
the
bet.
new one with like those nylon
Top level.
filaments, it's
Yeah.
like this see-through curtain
Yeah.
that surrounds the whole.
That's what
stage.
9 Inch Nails has been doing
Yeah, and
forever.
projecting. Yeah, throwing it down well before.
Dude, there's
everybody
something
else,
to
but-
be said of like, you know, what are they called? They're called like show producers, or there's something to do with that, but they're the ones that orchestrate all the multimedia for the
set
actual
design?
concerts. Yeah,
Yeah.
set design.
Yeah.
Gosh, like I don't know. To me, I want to know those people's names because like you'll see
Yeah.
a concert and be like, you know, I don't even like this band. I just like
Half
this
of the
dude.
concert
Everything I
is
saw.
visuals now. Yeah.
I saw last time I saw Tool was at Open Air Festival in Illinois. It was like in like Metro Chicago, and it was at the soccer stadium, and it was because Alan was playing there. Black Dahlia Murder was playing there. It was 2019. It was literally I bought tickets. My buddy was like, "Yeah, I want to go to that show. I heard Prodigy's going to be there," and then
Nice.
we
Hell
bought
yeah.
Don't be
those tickets,
surprised.
and
Probably not
then
gonna lie to you.
and then a week later, Prodigy had to drop out for some reason.
Oh,
And then,
yeah.
and then he was like, "Well, I guess we're still going to this fucking concert." But System of a Down like closed the first night,
Yeah.
and then Tool closed the second night.
Nice.
And we got so fucked up on the System of a Down night. He was like, "I'm done." We saw we saw Ghost and we saw System of a
Yeah.
Down, and he was like, "I'm just gonna stay."
is a fun live
He was like,
show,
"I'm
yeah.
just gonna stay at the room and just pass out." And I woke up the next day and was like, "Dude, I have to go see Tool. Like, are you kidding me?" And he was like,
Oh yeah, dude.
I'll
Right.
see you later, man. And I just went to the concert. I just,
Fuck yeah, dude.
It's
jumped
the
in the
best
Uber.
live show without question. I've
Oh,
ever seen.
dude, it
Like,
was so
Tool live
sick.
is a whole fucking different.
and
ballgame
the
for
best
sure.
part is Alan
There's
was
a
cool
few.
as fuck because he was just there was some random guy who was just walking over to us like, "Oh man, this one time my mom," and we were like, "What the fuck?" And he's like trying to talk to me because he had already played that day. He got to play on that stage, and then Tool played like closed out the show.
Nice.
But he's just standing there talking to me. He was like, "I can't do this, dude. I try and be so nice, but fuck this." And we walk over to the guy like at the gate, and we just kind of cross over, and he's like, "Hey," and I was like, I just kind of froze. I was like, He's like, "Is he with you?" And I was like, "Oh, dude, pull it. Is he with you, please?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Okay, I don't give a fuck. This is Chicago." And I just,
That's right.
I walked into like the front area where there's 5 people. You know, where they
Yeah.
designate like 3,000 seating capacity
Right.
for the 5 people that bought VIP. And I just watched Tool
Nice.
play
Oh, man.
play fucking their last album.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like,
That's choice.
I was at the this poster here is from the fucking actual Tool. It was also at Royal Oak at the the meeting. What the fuck you call it? Like their masterclass thing that they did. So I went to that, and that was a fucking that was crazy. So you get to I got to meet got to meet them all and shit. Except
I've never- I
Maynard's
don't-
not there. The rest of the guys.
Of course,
Yeah,
Maynard
Maynard's
was
not
like,
me yet.
That's
I would
cool, man.
never.
That's certified and numbered.
Have you guys seen the new?
He's saving his appearances for Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Danny Carey's my hero, though, man.
Yeah,
I used to-
yeah, yeah,
I used to
yeah,
play
dude.
shit.
Yeah,
over
he's
that.
my hero too as a drummer.
As a drummer,
have
I
you guys
used to-
seen the
Danny
new
Carey.
Opiate song and video?
No.
Okay, so they redid. There's a new version of the song Opiate, the Tool song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So anyway, at this thing, they showed that video. This is probably 2 years before they actually dropped it.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to show you this. Nobody's ever seen it. And they put the things down and they throw the projectors up or something. And fucking Adam Jones comes in. He sits down right next to me on the stairs. Like, there's only
That's wild.
maybe 100 people there.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there watching this, just like, this is the most surreal thing. I'm the biggest fucking Tool fan ever. I'm watching unreleased Tool with Adam Jones just sitting right next to me. And I just like, yeah, it was wild. The fucking dude, Danny Carey. First of all, that was by far the worst I've ever seen him play. He was hammered at this meet and greet
Hey, man,
thing.
and good on him. Dude, good on you, Danny
If you're
Carey.
gonna
You
let
deserve
loose
that.
one time
You
for
are
a
the
show, like,
fucking man,
me,
dude.
yeah,
You've
yeah.
brought me so much joy.
Yeah,
It was
you-
cool
Fuck
being
yeah,
able to
Danny
inspect his
Carey.
whole kit and shit, actually like check it
Oh,
all like up
dude,
close.
yeah.
And, but yeah, he did not fucking play that well. It was still great, but for him, you know, I was like,
Yeah.
I noticed it
He was
right away. I was like,
slacking.
he seems really stiff. And then he like literally said later, like, yeah, I usually warm up before concerts and everything. I'm not doing any of that for these. Like they were just like hammered as fuck, like doing this fucking weird
I
ass
mean,
shit.
dude, you don't do Tool wrong.
But during
it's
that-
just all muscle memory. He's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 6 and 5 and 1 and it's just
That
being
fucking dude,
wild.
the last Tool show we saw that I was just talking about, dude, Danny Carey laid way.
He's
Danny
incredible.
Carey live is amazing.
Dude,
He's
I mean,
Guys
well,
you
that's
know
the
as
thing.
a
His
drummer, like,
shittiest
holy
Yeah.
is
Yeah, yeah.
everybody's best.
100%,
Yeah.
dude.
His
yeah.
shittiest is like being like, oh, sorry, I fucking
Yeah.
killed
Yeah,
tonight.
for sure.
Sorry, I fell asleep and was still like.
Speaking of jerseys, dude, you gotta donate your Spawn jersey to,
To
Danny Carey in the
dude.
hopes that he will wear
You
it
think
on
I haven't
stage,
sent in
dude.
the paperwork? Dude? I'm just waiting for him to send the cash app back, dude. We'll see what happens.
Gotta have it, dude.
Some DC.
Oh, is rocking
Yeah.
some inappropriate fucking jersey
Dude, if I
of some
sent this to
sort.
Danny Carey's house and then I saw him at a show wearing this, I'd be like, dude, I made it.
I was talking about earlier. I fucking corresponded with Danny Carey on email years and years and years ago. I don't get to say corresponded. That sounds
Yeah.
like back in the day they had like their email addresses on the website. That was just like, you know, whatever through the website. It was not, you know.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I sent Danny Carey an email going, "Hello, Mr. Carey, sir." And it was like I asked him, "Did you have drum teachers?" Basically, was my question.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
And like 3 months later, I get a response back. It's like, "Hey, good to hear from you. I did have drum teachers. They were so and so, and I also recommend these 2 books on drumming."
Nice.
I was like, "That's dope."
Oh, that's adorable.
I got a couple of his signatures here somewhere too, and some books and shit. I
Dude,
think
he's a
that
beast.
poster's signed too.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah? I
Yeah,
saw that
maybe.
it was numbered as well. I'm a huge I'm a huge poster collector person.
Oh, nice! I got a huge poster collection too that I need to
Really?
get rid of. So let's talk.
Maybe I do have a thing that I have to be there for it, kind of a
Oh
thing.
yeah, there's that
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All these are concert posters.
Like I got one of the Orion ones that the one artist that does Obey and like Metallica's covers and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
He did that one.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was it looks
All the ones in
The
here are
epic lineup.
concert posters.
You got to
I'm
get.
into.
I don't know how much of the stuff you have left. So we've known each other since like 7th grade, like way back in the day.
Adorable.
And in the early years of college, we lived together and we had this house. And the epic movie poster and inappropriate lineup of posters in
Yeah, I
general
still
in this
got most of
house,
them.
like we're talking Alien 2. Was it Alien or Predator 2 rather?
I still got that.
Like the abandoned banned copy of Predator ripping the skull out
Oh,
with
yeah.
the fucking spine because it was like coming out on Christmas
Yep,
Day
yep.
or around Christmas, and it was
Yeah.
like too violent of an image.
I got that.
There's
There's
the
the
You've Been-
huge Matrix fucking poster,
Oh, yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I keep
Pink
all my
Floyd.
posters. Yeah.
What's like your go-to top 3 posters if you had to? What's getting the gold star?
I
in your
mean,
collection?
definitely. So the Orion Music Festival one is a big one because Orion Music Festival, they did it on Belle Isle, and I think they only did it for maybe 4 or 5 years. But
Okay.
like they like had a stacked. It was like
Yeah.
Willy Wonka. So like I went there, and first off, we had to wait in the will call line for 3 hours.
Oh, geez.
Brutal.
Oh yeah, people like got there because they had missed that band or whatever. They like
Yeah.
just went away. But like we just like stuck it out. You know, we made line friends, and you get in, and then there's like this like it's just a school bus to like drive you over to Belle Isle. So you like the will call booth is in Detroit, and then they truck you over basically because no cars are allowed on this particular thing. And it's just a no holds barred. People are doing coke in the backseat of a school bus.
Jesus Christ.
People are fucking, people are drinking, and then like meanwhile it's like a taxi driver video game type of thing. You're just like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
But yeah, so on top of that, but anyways, so it only happened for a few years because of obvious horrible logistical reasons.
It was deemed far too awesome to continue.
a little
Sounds
bit, a little bit way too disorganized. Waiting through. I mean, like it was shitty and also awesome because it was so shit. I don't know. But yeah, that poster because it was made by the guy that does all the Obey artwork, and then also Electric Forest 2000, I think 2015, because it was like a 5 times press kind of a thing, and it was super fucking dope, man.
Nice. Rothberry, baby. Woo.
Woo, Rothberry. Oh my God,
Shout out to
Rothberry
Rothberry.
was terrifying. I saw a woman eating mud, and then I'm like, "What's that?"
gross.
And they're like, "That's ketamine." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I don't want to do that one." And I've never
That's
done
not
it because
I
of
can
that.
say some things about Rothberry.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, dude.
the only
That
thing.
lady was not on ketamine because she wouldn't be hungry for anything. Okay, that's how you know she was a rookie.
I don't know if it was
Okay.
eating. She was just putting it in her mouth, and it
shout
was
out,
falling
shout out
out.
summer camp. Summer camp in Illinois was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great
It's all the way down the K-hole.
summer camp. Summer
Questioning your
camp
own
was wild.
existence.
It's too bad summer camp though. It's not the same. It used to be you could camp right by the stages, so you didn't have to do this in and out
Yeah,
shuffle
but
every
people
day.
lost their minds. It makes sense. I went in 2016 and people were pretty crazy, so I can't imagine now. Yeah, no way.
I only been to one big festival. I went to
2017.
Bonnaroo in 2009.
Oh,
Dude, I went to Bonnaroo and dude, I did summer camp in 2017 in May, and I just like quit my job. I was like, being a machinist sucks. They just like fuck you in the like. They were literally one day they were like, hey, just so you guys know, you're gonna work 2 solid weeks in a row. Happy birthday. And we were like, what the fuck? So and my buddy was like, we're doing this music festival and they'll pay us to sell empanadas and they'll give us free tickets. So we go to we go to summer camp in Illinois, and then we get done with that weekend and they're like, hey, they're going to pay us to go out to Bonnaroo. And I was like, let's do it. And my
Hell
buddy
yeah.
drove us down to Tennessee.
Who was playing? Like, who was headlining?
Dude, it was Chance the Rapper, U2, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody and their fucking mother was there.
Well, we went because fucking Tool was headlining, and that's why all my fucking friends went. And then the other night was the Police on their reunion.
Dude,
So
Pootie
I'm
Tang.
a pretty big fan
Pootie
of
Tang
fucking-
was
Oh my
at
God.
the comedy tent watching Pootie Tang dressed in Pootie Tang.
Right.
Like, he was dressed exactly like his character. And my buddy took a picture like, bro, look at me out here.
Comedy wise, we saw Lewis Black. We saw David Cross.
Nice.
We saw fucking Flight of the Conchords.
Oh yeah.
That was when they were in their heyday. It was right then.
Yeah.
A couple others too that I can't remember. Those are definitely the big comedy shows that we caught.
Flight of the Conchords is that shit. Man. Music and comedy
They were
done
hilarious,
right like
you know,
that.
like-
Like, they do it so great.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's hacky and shitty, but
David
God,
Cross was fucking hilarious
Yes.
too, man.
Oh,
Like,
David Cross
Jesus
is-
Christ. And then him and Maynard are like really good friends. So he
That
came
makes
out
sense.
during
Yeah.
the Tool set, which was a headlining set at Bonnaroo. It was pretty fucking
there was a
wild.
Mr. Show skit that was about like a fake band, and Tool is the band.
Puscifer started
Tool
on
is-
Mr. Show.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying like it's Tool, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we do this hack shit,
Right,
And
right.
they do like a fake interview, but it's like for a quick second, but
Right.
yeah, dude, just to have Tool be the fake band on Mr. Show,
Right.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's so awesome.
I never thought about Puscifer the same once I heard Country Boner.
Yeah.
Look, I'm
Guess-
not exactly a Puscifer fan. I'm fully
I love
devoted to Tool. It's kind of like when Dio took over Sabbath. Like it's like a Van Halen, Van Hagar situation to me. Like
Yeah.
I like Puscifer for what they are, but
It's
I don't have
it's
time
not
for
the same
13.
thing as Tool,
I don't
man.
have fucking time for Perfect Circle.
I love
Like,
it. The new Puscifer just came out like yesterday.
So
remix.
what
he's
What
doing
you were
too
saying,
much.
I'm like, is there?
What he mentioned earlier was we saw Puscifer. What he didn't mention was that we were like 3 rows back.
Oh, wow.
Front right
That's
center.
so
like,
badass.
This guy threw it down, got the ultra clutch
Choice
seats,
tickets.
and this was the first time I've ever nerded out at a concert. But like, we're 10, 20 feet away from Maynard, which is pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, I've seen Puscifer like 4 times at
Oh,
least,
wow.
something like that. 4 times. Yeah. That's Puscifer.
It's a different
Puscifer.
experience, and it's cool because
No,
it's so much
it's
closer. And it's
Dude.
not,
Yes.
Tool's
That's
awesome,
why-
but he's all shrouded in the shadows. But
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
inappropriate, full-on Maynard doing the whole Men in Black thing from 20 feet.
And you
away.
gotta, I mean, there's a huge comedy element to those shows too. I mean, it's very different. I mean, there's a lot of comedy in Tool too,
Well,
but
they're
like,
trippy. They're
I'm always a fan of any like band or artist that puts comedy into their music.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's why I do like punk, because quite a
Yeah.
few of them are just like purposely like, here's a penis.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the
Here's the
perfect
pin.
show. Like, it was hilarious. There's shit going on stage that's funny. Like, the music's choice. And it was one of the most fun concert experiences I probably had. Honestly, I love that post for sure.
Yeah, it was just
I mean, my friend Dorian, shout out, bless up my baby. We just say that dumb shit. We went and saw like Primus and Mastodon, and we've just had some shows. But when we were at Voodoo Fest, she was like, "I'm going to see Puscifer," and I think I went and saw the Lennon Claypool Delirium instead. I was like, "Look, if it's gonna be me seeing Les Claypool play with John Lennon's son."
Right.
And Maynard play with somebody that's not Tool, I'm gonna have to go
I'd
and
opt
take
for the
my
Puscifer for sure.
chances. But I had to see it because
Yeah.
I just want to see the different lineups. I want to see
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
live. You know?
I don't love Primus, being honest with you.
Oh
I've
no,
tried,
you don't need to. Hey,
Well,
man, hey,
I
I'm
get
never
it.
converting
I totally
people.
get it.
We all get
It's
it.
not like
Come
I
on.
hate Primus.
I
Primus
listen
is
to
cool.
Primus sometimes and just skip a song immediately and go,
Yeah,
"How
yeah.
the fuck do I listen?"
They're
to
another
this?
one of those that I've been forced into seeing like 5 times. Like getting like also opening for Tool and everybody else, and like, and it's like I don't
mostly why
hate
they-
on Primus, but
because he's sick. He's just like
it's just like
Yeah, it'd be fun to see Les Claypool play
But they-
live.
a lot of their
It's
stuff
kind of an
is so
experience.
It's a
It's an
circus act.
experience
Yeah.
going to those shows. It's not so much you like listen to them in your spare time so much as you reflect on the
Yeah.
show that you saw them at. You know, because I went to my first my second time in Kalamazoo. Both were horrible. Sorry, my second time in Kalamazoo, I went to see Primus in
Welcome to
the
the zoo.
oh my god, I went to see Primus in the Chocolate Factory. Because they did a whole
the chocolate
Where is
factory
that?
of the people that got victimized. The people that
yes,
died in
we're
that
bringing it
chocolate
right back around.
God damn it. Rest in peace.
But anyways, like we all like of course we're like, we'll drop acid beforehand, get the real experience. And guess what? And all of them wanted to show up like an hour late. We're like, we don't care about the opener. I'm like, come on, man. And we get it. Primus opened for Primus in the Chocolate Factory.
Hey,
First off,
just so you know, we're
Which-
gonna have me
which
out
is like-
there. And
which is a
that's
big,
a dick
big
flex,
dick.
dude. That's swinging a
Big
dick around. That's a meatspin.org situation.
Yeah, and they they're fucking great live. They just really rip it. Like there's nothing left
No,
on the
no.
floor.
But they're
Like,
hack. They're hack. Hot take. I'm saying it right now. If you ever listen to The Residents, Primus, like Les Claypool took his voice from an earlier project called The Residents, which is like these weird guys in the 80s who nobody ever knew. Like, we know they're like identities of them kind of now, but like they weren't out there like that. Because
God,
they
Yeah.
just
People you've
wore
been put
masks.
on blast
And
right
I
now.
saw them. I saw
He's
them
still
live.
talented.
And it's just like
Oh,
old
yeah.
ass dudes like sitting in chairs like operatic, just like they're doing
Right,
straight
right,
up
right.
Primus
But-
shit, but they were doing Primus shit in 1980.
yeah.
Like straight up.
everybody's got their influences.
But the
There's a
rest-
song called Floyd.
oh really?
Yeah, on the commercial album by
I
the
find
Residents.
Primus to just be boring, if I'm honest with you. Live, I find them boring. And maybe
It's-
it's part of like, it's also I'm waiting for Tool.
It's
you
for
know?
guys that live in Sparta, Michigan.
That's
There you go. You're a West
disrespectful.
Michigan. That's for guys that are from Sparta, Michigan. That's what Primus is made for.
Oh, you went to
You
MSU.
and all 20 men that still live there.
Oh, that's
Shout out
that's
to Sparta.
offensive.
Yeah, no,
offensive.
I've fucked
This
2 of them, so
is
it's like
Sparta.
10% of their population. I know all of you.
They're like, you remember that girl? She really shook this town it, okay? Like, no, nobody knows what you're talking
No,
about.
but
Clayton.
anyways, like the rest of it though, so they opened and then Primus and the Chocolate Factory started, and I feel like they banked on people taking hallucinogens,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
They knew, right? They knew. This is the important part of it, right? They knew, and yet they still, like, they had the movie playing in the background, right, while they went through it, but then they would, like, distort the images, and, like, so, like, the guy was, like, drinking from the pool of chocolate, like, and it was, like,
Jesus.
close up, and you're like, why are you
Everybody's
doing
like-
this to us? Like,
Dude,
there were shrieks from the audience, mine included. We're like, why?
I went to Forest and Tycho was straight up playing Holy Mountain, and I was like, oh, this isn't good. Because I was telling my buddy, I was like, there's this movie that the Mars Volta they talk about constantly and they use for visuals, and I go, yeah, it's this movie Holy Mountain, and he's like, yeah, I'll have to see it sometime. And we walk up to the Tycho stage, and they start playing, and immediately it's Holy Mountain visuals, and I was like, dude, we're fucked. Like they're using visuals from that movie. He's like, it's not gonna be that weird, and I was like, oh, fucking gay, dude. And immediately, like, this girl starts getting her head shaved, and he's like, what the fuck is this, dude? Floyd, this is not right. And I was like, I told
Should've
you.
listened to me.
He's like trying to eat my goat cheese and cherry like sandwich. Dude, some lady like
don't fuck
went
with
full,
another man's goat cheese and cherry.
Dude, this lady went full Karen. We're standing in a line to get grilled cheese because you know how these food trucks work.
Yeah.
They just sell things 5-year-olds eat. And then with just goat cheese. And this lady's like, fuck, I can't believe you guys fucked this up. Fuck you guys so much, blah, blah, blah. She gets her shit. She walks away. And I was like, hey, that lady was a real bitch. What was that about? And they were like, she didn't want this plate. She didn't order goat cheese and cherry. Goat cheese and cherry grilled cheese.
Nice.
And I was like, so can I buy this? And they're like, yeah, we'll give it to you like half off. Let's do this. And I bought it. And I also got like the classic American meaty ass grilled cheese, like ham, sausage, turkey. Let's do it. I'm at fucking, if I'm going to pay $36 for a sandwich at Electric Forest, let's make it worth it. Right? So I buy it, and it was so hilarious because all my friends are fucked up. And they all walk over to me and they're like, oh my God, you got a grilled cheese. And I was like, yeah, but the bottom's weird. And they both, like 3 people grab the bottom parts and they all start eating the goat cheese and cherry tomatoes. And they're like, oh, what is this? Why would you do this to us? And I was
You
like,
unsophisticated
I
swine.
was like, exactly. I was like, the top one was the normal one that you were supposed to grab, but you're fucking gross.
Have you learned your lesson?
And then we walked over and saw Tycho, and that happened to them. And I was glad. I was like, this is what you guys get for the goat cheese on the ground back there. You fucking dicks.
Uncivilized.
It was a great day. It was a great time,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Electric Forest.
I've never been to Electric Forest, actually. I've never been.
And it was a rollover
I
from
drive by
Bonnaroo.
every fucking every year, you know.
We did Bonnaroo, and then they were like, hey, do you want to do Electric Forest too?
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy was like, let's do it. And the first day it rained and they kind of fucked us over.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm done. And I just literally scanned my shit and just kept walking in and just lying to people. There was one day they were like, hey, your scanner's not working. And I was like, you're so right. Okay. And I walked over to a different entrance and I scanned it and they were like, your scanner's not working, but it says somebody else's scanner wasn't working, so it's probably just on the fritz right now. And I was like, dude, that totally makes sense. That guy, right? And I just walked in there. I was like, I just got to take pizzas to somebody. I'm a vendor because I get a vendor bracelet. And yeah, it's just a totally different world.
Damn.
It was
Well,
nice.
shit, guys, we've just done 3 hours almost anyway.
Dude, what
I
the
know.
shit, man?
would
I
sit
told
here-
you I got to go
I'd
pick up
sit
my
here and
kids,
talk to you
dude.
guys for fucking all
Yeah,
day,
kids.
honestly.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's
Not
got another
anymore.
family over here in Grand Rapids.
Dude, that's nice. I got my Grand Rapids fam, dude.
Setting up franchises, like they say in Fight Club. So what's going on? You guys got more shows coming up? You performing anywhere?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got less shows than she does. So I guess I'll
That should
start
tell you
this.
something, bro.
I guess I'll start this off. Please follow at Floyd Jones Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. But I'm doing the Music Box in Jackson,
Yeah,
April
that's a good
13th.
show.
Oh, hell yeah.
April 13th.
Super
On
good
the
show,
14th,
super
I'll
good
feel like a
crowd.
dick.
Down to Jackson.
And then the what's the comedy show? The fucking
Oh,
comedy
April 14th?
contest. It's the 14th. Yeah.
14th or
in
15th?
Holton, Michigan.
Yep.
At Dave's Tavern.
Yes, it's Dave's
In
Tavern.
Holton, Michigan.
Yeah, it's
so
another fucking
he's gonna
comedy.
tell-
The
I'm
excitement out of
shaking.
your face.
I'm shaking.
No.
My details. She's on some of these shows, and she's the reason I got the music box because I went to that show, and you know,
I do what I can, you know.
an unofficial manager, you know.
Yeah, no.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What
No.
else? Where are you playing? You got more dates?
Yeah, no, so I got a lot. So I made a pretty poster and all of that, but like
Read the poster.
I don't have my cell phone near me because I'm a professional. We were recording things. I'm like, I'm just gonna. But anyways, it's at Skippy Rose Comedy. That's with 2 P's, Skippy Rose Comedy. But yeah, I put all my shows there. I think I'm gonna be towards the West Michigan side of things. What's that one? The Comedy Creek, I think, at the end of April. Oh, thank you. He has my
there we go.
poster. All right, so yeah.
Freeze it.
All right, April 4th, I'm going to be at the Detroit House of Comedy. April 8th,
nice.
the Diva Cup. April 10th, Blind Pig. April 12th,
yeah.
I'm going to be at Mark Ridley's. April 14th, another fucking comedy show in Holton, Michigan. Oh,
It's the one I'll be at.
the Funny Spot at Captain's Quarters. That'll be April 21st. Comedy at the Creep. That's in Diamonddale, Michigan. That's April 22nd.
All right.
Me look
And
like
in general, I post the funny clips or whatever. Again, Skippy Rose Comedy. Thank you.
You Rose
Really doing some
Comedy.
work with these
Indeed.
dates. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Tip
I'm
of the
telling you,
hat.
man,
That's
Locking in
right.
she
that
That's a
legitimately
lot of
is
dates.
like
That's
killing the
awesome,
scene
man.
out there, and she's only been doing it for like less than a year. I
That's
mean,
killer.
like she's coming up on a year, but
It's like a lot of prep, kind of thing. I'm a person that prepares a lot and then goes for it. That's why.
That's
It's
awesome.
just-
Good for you. Well, thank you guys for coming out. It was
Yeah,
fucking
appreciate it, man.
super fun talking to you guys.
so much.
Yeah. I'm a little bit drunk right now. I'm not gonna
Hell
lie.
yeah,
We put a
dude.
pretty
I
good
know.
hurt on this
I
fucking-
got a
this-
good-
You guys
this
put
was
some
great.
beers in too, putting down work.
High five.
Well played. All right, suckers. We'll catch y'all on that fucking flip side. Make sure you follow these guys. Peace out, bitches.
Peace.
Woo.
Peace.